I won't do anything to her. But he was determined to go forward. But the two attendants stood in front of him and looked at him coldly. No, no one can disobey your orders. I say you are too uninteresting. You see, other girls all say that they want to go back with me. You should respect other girls, shouldn't you? It's impossible for Yi Lao to fight with them. After all, this is Lord Juyo's territory. However, if Lord Juyo is not here, the Son of Darkness must take him back. Otherwise, there is really no one to stop the devil. No, please don't embarrass us. The attendants still did not yield. They only obey the orders of Lord Juyo. Seeing this, he frowned deeply. In such a stalemate, a tender voice broke. I'm going with this old man. Miss, I can't. Lord Juyo told me. She was in charge of her attendants and spoke quickly. But before he finished speaking, the little fat girl frowned. I don't care, I don't know any Juyo adults. My mother is not here. I'm going to get the little potato back. With that, she pushed aside her attendants and came to Elder Yi. Holding up his head, he stared at Yi Lao with big round eyes and said seriously, Old man, is the little potato really there? You can't lie to me. I didn't lie to you. Little potato is really with me. If I lie to you, I'm a dog. Yi Lao squatted down and swore to the little fat girl. That appearance just let little fat girl satisfaction nod. Then I'll go back with you. I'm looking for potato. The little fat girl said with her hands around his neck. As soon as he was happy, he quickly picked her up. Elder Yi, you can't. The two attendants are calm when they see this. It's a pity that Yi Lao's figure flashed. In the twinkling of an eye, he flashed a long distance. Looking at the two attendants, he said, Two little brothers, I have no malice. When Lord Juyo comes back, you will report to Lord Juyo truthfully. I'm waiting for him in Yefeng Mountain. After that, without giving the two attendants a chance, they quickly disappeared on the mountain with little fat girl in their arms. What to do? Two attendants see this, the facial expression all exposed to put on flustered anxious. They never thought that the elder of Yifeng Mountain would dare to take people away in front of them. How can they tell Lord Juyo? And the other end of the demons. In the pink room, floating in mid-air, the little girl who has been keeping her eyes closed finally opens her eyes at this moment. However, a serious look, but can see that her eyes tired. The figure fell to the ground in mid-air and walked towards the door. And Juyo, who has been sitting in the hall, can't help but ask, Is that okay? Almost. She'll be back soon. The tender voice is hoarse at this moment. If you want to recover, you should cultivate yourself first. It's hard for you. Juyo looks at the little girl coming. It's easy to see the worry in her eyes. Born with a smile and shaking his head, No, I can still hold on. This is the way you like the master. If the master can see more, he can see more. Once the seal of the demon clan is broken, I'm afraid that what will happen to it? If it can last a little longer, just a little longer. Juyo's face changed slightly. Looking at the Book of Heaven, another undercurrent flashed in the bottom of his eyes, and his fist clenched. Is there no other way? Tian Shu came to him, automatically climbed on his lap, put his small head into his arms, and then said in a low voice, No, the master should also feel it, and the fairyland is almost unable to support it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you. Will it really disappear because of the seal? Hundreds of years of company, not overnight. Whether it's people or things, there will be feelings. I don't know. Tian Shu shook his head, but his tone was weak. 9U eyebrow deep lock, hand of embrace her, let her can comfortable sit on his leg. Master, may I ask you a question? In the silent room, the Book of Heaven suddenly opens its mouth. 9U slightly low Mao looked at it, then indifferent June face raised a touch of radiant smile. I know why you want, but I also don't know the answer. Tian Shu raised his young face, but his eyes looked at him wisely. Really don't know the answer? Smell speech, 9U but a lung, the eye ground but involuntarily flash a silk dodge. Seeing this, the Book of Heaven raised a wry smile on his little face and came down from his arms. He said, Although I'm just a Book of Heaven, I've been in this world for thousands of years. I also understand the so-called feelings in the world. Really, I understand. Tianshu, you are still young. Master, I've been a monster for thousands of years since I became self-conscious. What I look like now is just what you like in your heart. Why do you put me off? At this point, after a turn and a light, it turned into a young girl of 18 or 19. That is a very beautiful, very refreshing, a pretty woman. When Juyo saw that, his body was shocked, and there was a short absence and undercurrent in his eyes. The grip of the hand deepened a little bit, as if trying to endure something. Tianshu naturally put his changes into his eyes, and the smile in his mouth was tinged with a trace of humanized bitterness. No matter how many years you have experienced, you still can't forget her. In this case, why do you have to be confined here? The seal of the demon clan is broken. Isn't it an opportunity for you? Tianshu looked at him and looked at him seriously. With that pair of familiar eyes that he has been deeply hidden in his heart, he can't avoid. 9 You smell speech, that clench of fist force all bone not is white. No more. The cold voice of angry rebuke suddenly interrupted it. Look up, that two-way to mild light eyes, stained with a trace of blood, forced to endure some kind of inner emotion. Staring at the Book of Heaven, he ordered coldly, "Come back, don't look at me like this." Although Tianshu has no heart, he still feels a pain in his heart. Yes, half a ring, she had the appearance of a little girl. 9 You at this time, that deep cold facial expression just restores past of indifferent, the whole body up and down all wear of indifferent. In the future, don't tell me that. You just need to do your duty well. Yes, I see. The Book of Heaven looked at him, but this time, it seemed that there was something strange. It's a pity. At this time of 9 You, it seems that the mood was just affected, did not notice. Master, she's back. Suddenly, Tianshu suddenly turned his head and looked in the direction of the bedroom. At this time, in the bedroom, I saw a strong white light covering the space. Even in the hall, I could feel the fluctuation brought by the strong light. 9 You get up from the chair, restore the past temperature and light, steps slowly ran toward the bedroom. Tianshu also turned back to a heartless and innocent little girl, and followed him to the bedroom. After a few seconds, the light faded away. When Juyo came to the bedroom, the light just disappeared. A small figure was pale and half kneeling in a corner of the room in cold sweat. Cloud Dance has always been smart star eyes, but at this time is full of a burst of unspeakable pain, the whole body is full of a forbearance vicissitudes. This just a short time, let her see the whole life. A future that is extremely painful, a future that makes her shocked and heartbroken. Fate, that's the future fate arranged for her? Ha ha, great irony and resentment filled every corner of her heart. However, the pain in her heart reminded her that it would really happen even if the husband is gone, she should kill him, destroy her own children, and destroy the relatives and companions of the human world? Funny. It's a big joke. Destiny? That's the so-called destiny? God damn it, Cloud Dance half kneels on the ground, star eyes in the vicissitudes of life in the pain of turbidity, as if at this time she can't come back from the terrible future. Cold sweat is still straight out, wet her clothes. How's it going? At this time, the light voice of Juyo came. Hearing the sound, immersed in the pain of the Cloud Dance, like a reel back to God. Look up, star eye, die a layer of ice cold look at him. The Book of Heaven let me go to the place, is the future? Yes, so that you can see clearly the future you are about to face. Jill looks at her. Haha. Cloud Dance suddenly sneered, but there was a kind of anger in the smile. So you brought our mother and daughter back to your place just to imprison us? On the way to the future, she is full of sad fate, but what she really resents is Juyo, who is also a witch. The man who calls himself her cousin. If it wasn't for him, she would not have killed the man she loved, destroyed her children, and let her relatives and companions die in the hands of the demons. Everything is because of him. Juyo looks at her as if she wants to see something in her cold eyes. In the future, he doesn't know, because he can't see. However, hearing her words, he seemed to understand what she saw. Junyi's gentle face, slightly stained with a smile, but that smile is so bitter and lost. In the future, what can I do to make you so angry? Yunwoo slowly got up from the ground, clenched his fists. His eyes were red. He looked at him, clenched his fists, as if he was trying to endure something. You haven't answered my question. Is it true? Yes. Because that's the only way I can prevent the seal of the demon clan from being broken, and that's the responsibility of fate. What's more comfortable than saying it? For hundreds of years, he has gone step by step according to his destiny. Now, isn't it? But why is he so excited when he hears her question? I don't want to understand or explore. Responsibility? What a responsibility! I didn't expect that the witch people really conform to the destiny. Looking at him, Cloud Dance suddenly sneers. With a smile, tears fell into my eyes. For the first time, she shed tears in front of such a stranger, not sad, not angry, but sad for him. You hear her that words, looking at her that sarcasm, looking at his facial expression, only feel the heart have a burst of draw pain, but don't show for. You have read the book of heaven. Come back with me. Go back? Where to go? Will you go back to the prison you set for me? I can't go back, but you can. You but stare at her, serious say this words. But what that meaning wants to express seems to be understood only in their own hearts. What do you want to do to me if I don't come back? Yunwoo looks at him. Yu hook lips a smile, still looking at her. If I want to be a qualified guard messenger, I can only use forced demon, can't leave here. So you're going to take me back by force? Yunwoo looks at him. If I say yes? 9 paths. Then I can't do what you want. After all, I hate your destiny, especially. I don't want to follow it at all. Don't you want to follow it? Do you think you can get rid of it? Juyo said with a smile. If I can't get rid of it, I'll completely destroy it. Anyway, if I want to die, I have to put it on the back. If I want to destroy it, I'll completely destroy it. With that, Yunwoo didn't stop, turned around and walked away towards the stone gate. The little girl's book of heaven stopped her and looked up at her quietly. Do you know how crazy those words you just said are? Yunwoo looked down at Tianshu, and a touch of sympathy and pity flashed in his eyes. Compared with madness, you are madder than me. Puzzling words, let the book of heaven with 9 you did not understand. But Yunwoo was not interested in explaining anything. She passed her and left towards the stone gate. Juyo didn't stop, just watched her leave. Master, you don't really want to imprison her, do you? Tianshu suddenly turned his head and looked at Juyo, and asked such a question. Juyo looked at her, but raised the corner of his mouth, leisurely way. In this world, maybe only you know me. Why didn't you explain what she said just now? She seems to have misunderstood you. She didn't misunderstand me. Even now I don't think that way, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do to her. You're a letter from heaven. You know some things very well. Fate can't be changed just by changing. 9 you finish saying, pause for a moment, then continue away. The book of heaven, see her reaction, the future, seemed to be more sad than I imagined. If one day, I really become her eyes, will you also leave me? Master, you know very well that I can't leave you, or even this place. You know very well that the answer I want is not formulaic. Jill looks at her. On the young face of the book of heaven, there flashed a steady undercurrent. Didn't the master just say that? I will abide by my duty, so the host won't want to know another answer. Don't you want to know? Hearing it answer like that, 9 you don't know why, feel the mouth of the heart slightly drew again. What's wrong with him? Not long ago, Mingming warned her, how can we get that answer from her now? Is it really because of too much desire? Think of this, 9 quiet not bitter smile for a while. Okay, you first good spirit. The language falls, also didn't give a day book to open mouth, the pace toward the door but go. The little girl left, watching his back. Sour and complex, gradually dyed her eyes, a smile in the corner of her mouth. If I can, I really don't want to be your burden. If I can, I'm willing to pay all the price to fulfill my wish for you. The voice of soliloquy reverberates coldly in this space. Light diffusion, lasting for a long time. Ifeng Mountain. The continuous mountains are connected all around, in the dark, but they still look so majestic. However, Yifeng Mountain is not very peaceful at this time. In addition to the loud sound of the sky from time to time, there was a movement, which seemed so abrupt. Where's the little potato? Old man, you lied to me, I want to go home. Little fat girl yells angrily, floating in the air, destroying all around. Damned old man, said to let her come to find small potatoes, can come for most of the day, did not see the figure of potatoes. On the contrary, these annoying people have been nagging in her ears. Little ancestor, come down quickly. Elder brother Lu Jun has sent someone to bring little potato. Don't worry, don't fall down. Yes, don't smash it. It's our leader's favorite. Don't smash it. The disciples of Yifeng Mountain were all around a side hall at this time. They were so anxious. The reason for this, of course, is that little fat girl floating in the air, in a rage. It is also the son of darkness, they invited back from Yifeng Mountain. It's not that they can't stop her, but Elder Yi has told her not to touch her or disobey her. Not long after he left, the little ancestor began to make a big noise. No matter how to persuade, in the end, they began to smash things. This little boy has such a big temper. But every disciple on the scene, but also can endure, hurriedly around, repeatedly coax. By the way, we'll see if we can save some of her stuff. You're all bad guys. That old man is also a bad guy. He said that he would bring me to find little potato, but he lied to me. If he didn't release little potato, I would smash his things. Little fat girl doesn't know the situation, but she has a good temper. Anyway, it's all bad guys who cheat her, said the hands of the jade screen off. Bang! It's another piece of ground. The disciples around are full of flesh pain. That's the favorite of their leader. Granny, don't smash it anymore. Elder martial brother Lu Jun will come back soon. It's impossible for a fat girl to cooperate. She's flying here and there. She's not free for a moment. In the wailing sound, a figure in a hurry ran in from the door. Yip, is old man here? Suddenly hearing the sound, the people in the hall naturally stopped and looked at the man together. Why is old Yi out? Someone's breaking into the mountain. He's at the gate of Jingwu. What? If someone rushes into the mountain, why don't you go to the front hall and report it to the leader? For a moment, originally around the little fat girl's disciples, a large number of people were in a hurry to go out. Only a few of them were left behind, and the little fat girl in the wild was totally helpless. The little fat girl's eyes lit up when she heard someone rushing into the mountain. In the twinkling of an eye, that petite small body, brush of a remnant shadow passed by, in the twinkling of an eye disappeared in the hall. People! Come on, the granny ran away again. The remaining disciples were still worried about the news they had just heard. Unexpectedly, little fat girl gave them such a good head. After a while, they were too busy to use force. At the foot of a move, the figure also disappeared in the same place, straight after the direction of the little fat girl. Yifeng Mountain Gate. Dozens of disciples fell to the ground. Their faces were not very good, while the disciples who were driven out of the mountain gate looked at the people coming outside the mountain gate with solemn faces. Lord, what do you mean? This is our Yifeng Mountain. Are you going too far? No one else came. It was the master of the demon sect who brought dozens of people with him. He was not weak at all. As soon as he made a move, he hurt the gatekeeper of Yifeng Mountain. Hand over the son of darkness, otherwise, don't blame me for being merciless. One of the disciples beside the master spoke coldly. It seems that their goal is fat girl. Yifeng Mountain disciples smell speech, eyes are obviously hard to sink, defensive posture. You don't go too far, we elder will come right away. Haha, that old man? I'm drinking tea in my demon sect now. Okay, don't give me any nonsense. Just say it and hand over the son of darkness at once. What? Yi Lao is in the devil sect? After hearing that, the disciples of Yifeng Mountain were obviously moved. You! But at this time, a cry came from a distance. Little ancestor, don't go, come back quickly. Boo! A gust of wind suddenly appeared on the top of people's heads. The little fat girl frowned at the devil. I thought my mother was coming. It turned out that she was a villain again. There are some dissatisfaction and some grievances. Where has Mom gone? Why haven't you come to her yet? The dead old man clearly said that he would bring her to find little potato, and his mother would come here to find her too. Why hasn't he come yet? It seems that people are not what they are looking for. The little fat girl pouts her lips and plans to go back to smash things. But she didn't know how much influence her appearance had on the two sides who were already fighting. At the moment when the demon lord saw the little fat girl, a surprise flashed through her strange black eyes. Almost in the little fat girl is going to turn away that second, his action is very fast jump up. Next second. For example, the big hand of tongs has grasped the little body of little fat girl tightly. It's so fast that there's no chance for the people of Yifeng Mountain to react. Ah, villain. The fat chick screamed in pain. People in Yifeng Mountain suddenly changed their faces. Lord, let her go quickly. Seeing this, the disciples of Yifeng Mountain quickly cheered. One by one, they quickly came forward and wanted to get the little fat girl back from the master. But the lord of the demon sect caught all the people in his hand. How could he let them snatch them back? At the moment when I saw the disciples of Yifeng Mountain coming forward, a strong dark breath suddenly swept out and directly knocked several disciples away. Then, he hugged the little fat girl tightly and turned around to leave. Bad guy, let me go. Little fat girl's face wrinkled, trying to struggle, but found that her strength was imprisoned by him. However, the demon lord did not have time to leave, because a tall figure appeared in the air and blocked his way. Handsome appearance, tall posture, a gray robe, looks like a man full of fairy spirit. When the demon lord saw the man, his eyebrows frowned, and his eyes fell with a cold. Leader E, didn't you say that you wouldn't come out of the mountain if you didn't disturb your mountain Yifeng? Are you going to break your oath? The leader of Yifeng Mountain, just because he made the vow that year, is generally in charge of the outside world. I didn't expect that today's leader appeared in person. This, however, surprised the people of the demon sect. The headmaster E smiles politely, but his smile doesn't reach the bottom of his eyes. His eyes are sharp and he looks at the master of the demon clan. Master of the demon clan, if you take her away, you will not know that it is Yifeng Mountain, but the whole demon clan. Do you want me to go out of the mountain? You mean against me? The master's eyes sank. But the headmaster, with a smile on his lips, was still gentle. It's not that I'm against you, it's that you're against me. For the sake of that year, if you put the child back, I can forget that you brought people to my house today to hurt many of my disciples. Otherwise, I won't be polite. Listening to that too gentle voice, the demon lord's face was obviously a little cold. Not only don't let go, but more force. The pain makes little fat girl wave her claws furiously. Villain, kill you. Unfortunately, the power of her little paw was not enough for the demon lord. She didn't even give her a look. On the contrary, he was strict because of the leader's words. Okay, I'll see how the leader will be rude to me. Language falls, a remnant shadow jumps up in the air and goes out. When the headmaster saw this, his eyes finally sank. As soon as his figure moved, he disappeared in the same place. Seeing this, the disciples of the demon sect immediately followed him. How could the disciples of Yifeng Mountain show weakness in this way? Many of the disciples who just arrived also rushed after them. All the way straight after, but also only to see a black and a gray two figures, in the speed of light and shadow intertwined impact. Those disciples really can't see the specific attack. However, with the fight between the two sides, the energy fluctuation in the air is more and more intense, accompanied by the thunder in the sky. The fight between the leaders of the two factions was so fierce and dangerous. When Yunwu came, it was just like that. Two rays of light, actually in the dark sky in a flash of a collision. The speed is extremely fast, almost even Cloud Dance can't see clearly. Don't ask her how to see the two shadows in the dark, anyway, she saw them. Besides, I saw her daughter. Fat girl. Damn it, they fight each other. Why did they take her daughter with them? During the period when many disciples couldn't get in, The cloud dance came with cold and fierce anger. At the moment when the figure jumped up in the air, he directly entered the two fierce battlefields. In the air, after the strong participation of the third party, there was a huge crash. Then I saw three figures flying out under the impact of the aftershock of that force, Mom. Little fat girl was dazzled by that force, but she saw her mother at the first sight. During the period of being held by the demon lord, he was surprised and yelled. After hearing the words, the evil lord looked at the woman who suddenly intruded and was attacked by the force. That is the woman I saw in Juyo Mansion that day, Yunwoo. You are the cousin of Lord Juyo. I hope you don't take part in it. Otherwise, don't blame me for being merciless if you hurt me. Compared with the evil lord's Yin Li, the leader of that was quite interested in watching the cloud dance. The breath of human beings. It seems that she should be the intruder who made the demons move. The child is her, you want her not to participate in it. Isn't the demon lord a little ridiculous? Leader Yi said with a smile. This made the demon lord angry and gave him a cold stare. As a demon, can't you think about it for the demon? This is not a time for internal strife. Haha, it seems that the lord of the devil is joking. Don't we always do this? You. The evil lord's face turned black when Leader Yi broke down. I don't want to participate in your demons, but if you want to take my children as chips, don't blame me for being rude. It seems that Yunwoo's aura has become too cold. Seeing the future, there are a lot of things in her eyes at this time. It seems to be restaged, especially when she sees the history repeating itself. That kind of mood is really beyond other people's understanding. She would never let history repeat itself, never. Her children can never repeat the tragedy of the future. Mom. The little fat girl struggled to get rid of the master. But the lord of the demon clan held on harder and harder. Cloud Dance's face is gloomy, and he stares at him with squinting eyes. Master of evil, you'd better let go, otherwise, you will regret it. When he heard Yunwoo's words, the lord of the demon clan laughed as if he had heard a big joke. Regret? Ha ha. You think you are Juyo's cousin, do you really think I'm afraid of you? Haha. Ironic laughter, with incomparable irony. But did not think Cloud Dance can say such words, how can just say it? It's estimated that even Juyo doesn't know. Yunwoo not only sees the future of Tianshu, but also knows the way of the last awakening of her blood witch saint. To be honest, if not for the future brought by the Book of Heaven, she may not be able to awaken before the tragedy. Witch saint? Cloud Dance disdains, but it needs the real power of the witch saint. Therefore, in order to achieve her goal, she will not hesitate to start. A shadow flying away. Seeing this, the master of the demon sect laughed and looked at her with disdain. He wanted to see how she would regret him. But did not think, the next second, his disdain expression is stiff in the face. His eyes were wide open, and he looked at the figures suddenly appeared in front of him. The corner of his mouth was flushed with blood. With his face full of panic, he looked so thrilled. You. Difficult to open his mouth, but only spit out a word, the words behind it with the same card in the throat. Slowly Chuehu head, pupil seems to protrude out of a look, the road into his chest of small hands. Yes, a hand, just like that through his heart. He never thought that would happen. Cloud Dance for his panic, but it seems so indifferent, warm hands beating touch, did not cause her pity and sympathy. Because if you want to awaken the power of the witch saint for the last time, you need to sacrifice. Sacrifice to awaken the last seal. Originally, the power of the witch saint is pure, so it is not right to sacrifice to awaken. But Cloud Dance is special. Because, in her power, there is the power of darkness, the power of demons. If it wasn't for this, I'm afraid her last awakening would have awakened long ago, and it would not have been until now. And the last sacrifice is the need for the demons. How ridiculous! If not, she inadvertently entered the demon clan and saw the future brought by the Book of Heaven. She is only afraid that she will understand that her blood is special until the end. She can only use a special method to wake up and seal for the last time. The reason why the power of evil bite in her body disappears after giving birth to a child is not absorbed by the child, but precipitated. Precipitation in the body, just like the strength of her body, are waiting for the last sprint. Her body contains, waiting for an opportunity to awaken the last seal. Once she gets that chance, the power of evil bite in her body will awaken again, and the final seal of the witch clan will be broken. She will become a real witch saint, but she is totally different from the saint of all ages. Lord! Lord! Just at this time, the demon sect disciple who followed him changed his face and cried out in horror. This scene also shocked the disciples of Yifeng Mountain. That woman, how could she? Demons, the body is not casually human can erase, not to mention, is a hand inserted in the chest. Cloud Dance turned a deaf ear to this, but in the eyes of the public, in the eyes of the demon lord's horror, he pulled his heart out of his chest. The stench of blood, splashing out. A few drops of blood splashed on her cheek, with a hint of madness. But Yunwoo didn't even wipe it. After seizing the heart, it was crushed. Ah! Sharp scream, in the heart of the broken moment, pierced the air. It's very harsh, it's very noble. Before the reaction, Yunwoo brought the little fat girl into her arms. As for the blood in her hands and the broken heart, I left it behind. At that moment, Yunwoo felt some sudden force in her body collide. Close your eyes, he whispered to his daughter in his arms. Chubby girl heard, very clever, closed his eyes. Chubby hand tightly grasped her clothes, very clever. Cloud Dance did not hesitate, with the fastest speed, directly toward the direction of Juyo Mansion. As for the people behind her, she had no time to estimate. The body of the demon lord, at the moment when his heart was crushed, fell directly from the air with the broken kite. The headmaster looked at him from the beginning to the end, and the shock in his eyes was self-evident. However, compared with the shock of the disciples of the demon sect, he was more indifferent. Zhang, leader, what now? Chase or not? In response, the disciple of Yifeng Mountain stammered and trembled and asked his leader. Although the dead are the masters of the demon clan, they are also the people of the demon clan. It's hard to calm down after being directly killed by people in the human world. Chasing? Hee, who do you think is going to catch up with her? The headmaster suddenly opened his mouth with a smile. Eyes have been sending this Cloud Dance figure to leave the direction, more than a trace of meditation. The disciples of Yifeng Mountain were silent. Yes, even the master of the demon sect has been wiped out. Who can stop them? Is that all? Yes. Didn't the Lord just ask our elder to have tea? Come with me to the demon sect, send the Lord back, and take Elder E back by the way. That is to say, they not only don't chase, but also send the corpse of the demon lord back to the demon clan. In this way, isn't it necessary to aim at Yifeng Mountain? All the disciples of Yifeng Mountain can't understand their leader's thoughts, but what else can they say if the leader says that? However, compared with the calm discussion of Yifeng Mountain, the disciples of the demon sect were flustered. What could be more important than the killing of the patriarch? But in the end, they didn't go after them. After all, with dozens of their disciples, they were not sure they could get revenge. It seems that we have to go back to Zhongmen to move soldiers. Cloud Dance is crazy speed to rush back to the 9U mansion, the body that is about to break through the power, pain incomparable torture her. But she didn't go to a safe place, and her daughter didn't dare to break through without security. In the demon clan, the only place she can go is Jiyuna. Even though he knew that his purpose was to imprison them and prevent the seal from being broken. But she killed the Lord of the Devil, and it can't go on like that. The seal is bound to break. She must leave here. Her daughter can't take over Juyo's class. She can't at the gate of Juyo Mansion. As soon as the Cloud Dance landed, the black fog appeared and the mansion was exposed. Where have you been? Juyo's faint voice came out from the mansion, and then his figure appeared at the door. Cloud Dance, but in see his that moment, figure a flash but go. Take care of her for me. As soon as the words fell, the little fat girl put it in his arms. Then, the shadow passed, her figure had disappeared in the mansion. Just after the Cloud Dance disappeared for a while, There was a cry of pain in a corner of the mansion. A different demon aura, but similar to the power of the demon aura, instantly emanated from the corner. Soon, the whole mansion was enveloped by that force. Juyo, who is still standing at the gate of the mansion, feels the power and his face changes on the spot. He seems happy but surprised, the last awakening of the sorcerer's saint. Bitter smile, light dyed his mouth, eyes inexplicably dark down. Why not wait? Unfortunately, his voice to himself, but no one can understand. When the little fat girl sensed the power, her mood was obviously floating, as if something wanted to break out of her body. However, because she was worried about her mother, she could only suppress her. As for Juyo's self-talk, she didn't understand. It's half a ring. Juyo just hugged her and walked slowly towards the mansion. On the other side, such as the magma area within the devil, Magic Company, the vice lord of the demon sect, almost failed to stir up a fury on the spot when he heard the news that the lord of the demon sect had been killed. Where are the people now? It's just outside the door of the clan. It's the headmaster who sent back the leader's body. He also said that he wanted to take back the old man. The voice of the demon sect disciple who came to repay him trembled. Not only because of the news that their patriarch was killed, but also because of the fury of the deputy patriarch in front of them. I'm afraid that one will be obliterated by his anger. Even the devil's eyes were red with anger, and the breath of fury surrounded him. What are you doing? Hurry to gather all the disciples in the sect for me. The devil company, who roared at the disciple, immediately went to the door of the sect. How powerful is the demon lord? Who doesn't know the whole demon clan? But now he's killed. It seems that the leader of Yifeng Mountain is powerful again. Now, they are even demonstrating and sending them to the door in person. At this time, when would it be better not to gather the disciples of the sect? In an instant, the whole demon clan began to set off waves of turbulence. Hundreds of disciples are rushing towards the gate of the sect. They are so fierce. Outside the door of the demon clan, the leader of Yifeng Mountain, who is leading 10 disciples of Yifeng Mountain, stands not far away from the door with both hands. He has a gentle smile on his handsome face. The gentle and peaceful atmosphere made him look so out of place. However, no one ever dared to underestimate him, because he is the youngest leader of Yifeng Mountain in all ages, and also a rumor among the demons. If it wasn't for his oath, if nothing happened to Yifeng Mountain, he would not go out of the mountain gate. I'm afraid there is nothing wrong with the demon sect now. But today, the leader who hasn't been out of the mountain gate for 100 years has killed the lord of the demon clan as soon as he left the mountain. Well, I'll kill you and I'll send back the body myself. This is not in the red, one naked face to the devil. I'm afraid no one can calm down. Headmaster, it seems that the demon clan is gathering people and horses. Shall we go back and gather them as well? One of the disciples of Yifeng Mountain, hearing the movement in the demon sect, couldn't help asking the leader. Although I know the power of my leader, it would be hard for them to fight against the disciples of the whole demon clan. No, we're not here to fight with them. We're here to pick them up. The headmaster said with a smile. But what if they don't want to send the elder out? Depending on the situation, we can see that it is absolutely impossible to win people's support. Don't worry. But the headmaster didn't say that. He was smiling at the gate of the demon sect. Although the disciple of Yifeng Mountain was worried, he could not say anything at this time. Hee. All of a sudden, bursts of footsteps and the roar of many people came from the demon clan. After a while, inside the gate of the whole demon sect, we saw a lot of disciples coming. That number, not tens of thousands, also has 7,000. It seems that the Magic Company really called all the disciples together, or in such a short time. Leadery, long time no see. In the dense group of disciples, a Magic Company in black robes came out slowly. But I don't know if I care about it or not. I didn't come out too much. The headmaster looked at the Magic Company, smiling politely and nodding his head. He said hello as if he had seen an old friend. Deputy Lord, long time no see. I just heard that the headmaster came to deliver the body of our patriarch. Magic even narrowed eyes of ask away. But from it, we can hear the forbearance in his words. But leader E seemed to nod his head and waved to the disciples, asking them to lift the corpse of the Lord. Today, I'm here to send back the demon lord. By the way, I want to bring back the elder of Yifeng Mountain. However, many of the disciples in the demon clan changed their faces as soon as they saw the corpse of the demon clan leader. The face of Magic even more ugly. Lord! Many disciples could not help but wail, among which the fierce anger was more intense. Magic even more like a heart stuck in a breath, angrily staring at the leader. You killed our patriarch, but also want to take that old man back? Is not the leader too much? Who said I killed the demon lord? The body of our patriarch is in your hands. You said you didn't kill him. When many of the disciples of the demon sect were about to stir up, the headmaster frowned and said with a smile, "It seems that I've done something wrong with a good heart. It's not your disciples who are following me here. You can ask them." As soon as these words came out, it seemed that many of the disciples of the demon sect really noticed their fellow disciples. What's going on? Say Magic even eyes sweep those disciples, angry. At this time, the disciples who came back with them seemed to react. Deputy Lord, it's the man from the outside who killed the Lord. Yes, it's the human who sneaked into our demon clan, the woman who was taken away by the Lord Juyo. Yes, that woman didn't know how to do it. She took out the master's heart and then... I can't seem to say the following. But as a demon, he knows how to kill the demon. To be clear, why did the patriarch fight that woman? Are you all staring at each other? Even the demons couldn't understand that they couldn't fight a lowly human with their status and strength. In the end, he was killed. What a shame it is for the demons. Deputy Lord, it's not that we didn't fight, but that our Lord was fighting with Leader E at that time. The human woman came out of nowhere, and she took the opportunity to step in and attack the Lord secretly. Yes, it was the woman who killed the patriarch when she attacked. The dozens of demon disciples who came back immediately agreed. At present, the atmosphere around is not quite right. Juyo Mansion. When that power gradually subsided, the whole complex was closed again. Juyo with little fat girl, quietly waiting for Cloud dance in the hall. When Yunwoo appeared, the maids and servants waiting in the hall could not help but take a breath. Eyes, some stick in the thin figure, can't move. Good, beautiful yes, Yunwoo's beautiful appearance at this moment seems to be covered with a layer of brilliance, a kind of light that makes people crazy. It's clear that nothing has changed in the facial features, but it can make people feel that the earth-shaking changes have taken place. Everyone, no matter men or women, at the moment when they see her, their eyes seem to stick to her. That kind of heart-beating feeling happened to everyone who saw her for the first time. Both men and women. That kind of feeling can only be understood by seeing it with one's own eyes. It can't be expressed in words. Even Juyo, at the moment of seeing her, was stunned. Mom, you have become so beautiful. Little fat girl's tender and joyful voice broke the strange atmosphere of silence. Small body, after jumping off the stool, quickly ran to the Cloud dance. Cloud dance squats down to take her flying and holds her up without any difficulty. She looks at her daughter tenderly. Did you get hurt just now? The little fat girl shook her head and said wisely, No, I'm very good. I won't hurt myself. Mom doesn't have to worry. Cloud dance warm smile, rubbed her little head, later, can't follow others and no matter when. You have to protect yourself first. Do you know? The little fat girl nodded with a smile seeing that his daughter was not hurt. Yunwoo raised her head and looked at Juyo sitting on the throne. Now, is it time to talk about our problems? Juyo has returned to her normal indifference. Junyi looks at her calmly on her face and says, You say, I want to break the seal. You should be very clear about the meaning of my existence. As long as I exist, it is impossible for you to do so. 9 You still very insipid say. But Yunwoo frowned, and his voice was low. Do you really want me to kill you? Don't you have the ability now? If you can, I hope you can end my long life, Juyo said with a smile. But after watching the cloud dance of his life, I feel sad when I hear his words. Although he caused her tragedy, he also had his tragedy. If we want to say the culprit, we can only say that the so-called sorcerer and the so-called Protoss. Why should one's fate be in the hands of those so-called Protoss? Why can they arrange people's life and decide their life and death at will? Is it because they created human beings? But human beings are not animals or puppets. When they create independent human beings, they should be given the right to choose freely. Why do you want to control human beings like puppets? Don't the Protoss want the demons to break the seal? Aren't you afraid of demons? Okay, then she will let the demons see the light again. She's not a puppet. Never be a puppet of the Protoss. Perhaps her idea is very crazy, but her life is not in the madness? Well, that's what you said. I'll make it up to you. Cloud Dance hook lip a smile but not to the eye. No, Lord Juyo was killed. Lord Juyo was killed. All of a sudden, a series of panic shouts were raised in Juyo Mansion. Then, the border that originally shrouded around the mansion seemed to be suddenly broken because of the death of Juyo. The whole mansion was exposed to the bare mountain. With the disappearance of the border, many servants and maids in the mansion rushed out with the exclamation that Lord Juyo had been killed. Panic around as if afraid of being chased. Bang bang. All of a sudden, bursts of huge explosions instantly resounded through the mountain sky. In the dark, there was a huge fire. Extremely dazzling. Guardian, the mansion of Lord Juyo, is it on fire? The mansion on the peak between the two factions can be seen clearly by the two factions. Isn't that the residence of Lord Juyo? Why is it on fire? Yes, there seems to be an explosion. What's the matter? Come on, go and have a look. In an instant, the two factions of the whole demon clan were boiling up because of this movement. No matter it's from the demon clan or from the Yifeng mountain, they all go in the direction of the fire. Even at this time, thousands of people gathered at the gate of the demon sect stopped their murderous spirit because of this movement. What's the matter? It's on fire. It's like the direction of Juyo's mansion. It's not like that, but that's the location of Juyo family. It's dark all around the demons. A little fire can make them look dazzling. Even though they are far apart, they can still see clearly. The headmaster E, who was opposite to the devil sect, frowned suddenly when he saw the direction of the fire. Juyo accident can represent the real turmoil of the demons. Yifeng Mountain does not advocate war, let alone the peaceful faction that broke the seal. If the demons are really in turmoil, it will be the most difficult for them to survive. Headmaster, it seems to be the home of Lord Juyo. After hearing what the disciple said, the leader no longer stayed. Before he turned around, he just told one of the disciples, "Take some disciples from behind the demon sect. The disciples should rescue Elder E and have him escorted back." Yes, the disciple nodded his head. Then, his figure jumped up in the air and disappeared in the dark. Seeing this, the devil of the demon sect didn't even care about the corpse of the Lord. He told his disciples to deal with the affairs of the Lord, and he quickly chased after him. After all, the reason why the demons can keep the current balance is precisely because of the existence of the world-guarding envoys. If there is something wrong with the guard, it means that it is time for him to set off the evil sect. That's a big deal. At this time, the leaders of the two schools are heading for the Juyo mansion with the fastest speed. The closer you get, the more people will come from all directions. Naturally, the purpose is the same. All want to make sure what is the situation of Juyo. Once it's confirmed that Juyo is dead, I'm afraid the scuffle starts from there. At this time, a slender figure stands at the door of Juyo Mansion. Her figure, as if connected with the fire, but not affected by the tongue of fire. And in the arms of that slender figure, there is a little girl. One big and one small, looks like some, but each has its own strange beauty. In such a dazzling fire, the two figures are so depressed and mysterious. One after another, the demons came in a hurry. Before they got close, they were shocked by the two figures standing against the fire. Almost everyone's eyes were glued to the slender woman when they saw the figure. If the beauty in front of Juyo before Cloud Dance is glorious and sacred, then now she is extremely beautiful and monstrous. Crazy and demonic. The fire not only did not win half a silk of light from her, but set off her demon. Who is she? What a charming woman. How come I haven't heard of such a beautiful woman in the demons before? Yes, I've never heard of it, but she appears in the territory of Lord Juyo. Is she the woman of Lord Juyo? It's possible. It's impossible. Lord Juyo is an emissary of guarding the world. You can't marry a woman of the demons. You don't know that. Yes, but who is the beauty? The child she is holding is also very good. Fat man, put your saliva away. Don't scare people. It seems that the first group of demons only dare to look around in the distance of the fire. In fact, it is also because not everyone can set foot in the territory of the envoys guarding the boundary. But there are more people and more rumors, even the demons are no exception. Not for a while. I don't know who said it first. Hey, have you heard that Lord Juyo is dead? What? Are you kidding? Who killed Lord Juyo? That is, if Lord Juyo is so easy to be killed, we demons still need to stay in this ghost place. Impossible. It's true. I just heard that the servant who escaped from Lord Juyo's house said that Lord Juyo was killed. Killed? Who killed it? Really dead? Who killed Lord Juyo? The audience, who were still gossiping, heard the news that Juyo had been killed, and the atmosphere was obviously different. There's excitement, there's dignity, there's complexity, but more people are curious about who killed the demon's guardian, who in the end has the ability. This is the key. But it is clear that this answer has not been spread. Mom, it's a little hot here. When the people around were chattering, the little fat girl finally looked up at her mother and said, "The pink forehead is dripping with sweat." Cloud Dance looked down and found that he was careless. After her awakening, the power of the elements in her body also came back. She manipulated the fire elements to burn the mansion. There was no discomfort for her. But for her daughter with dark constitution, it must be uncomfortable. Sorry, baby, I forgot. To anyone can be cruel, only their own daughter is a gentle. Cloud Dance said at the same time. It aroused an element body shrouded in her body, separated behind the heat of the fire. In fact, it's not that Yunwoo doesn't leave, it's that this is the place to break the seal. The place where Juyo now lives is exactly the position of the elves in the fairyland. If you want to break the seal of the demons, you can only start here. She can't do it alone. So, she's waiting. All the people who should come are here. At this time, the fairyland has already been the smoke of war all around. Especially when the elves joined, not only did not stop, but also destroyed many places. The consequences were far more serious than ordinary people. However, at this time, neither the dark faction nor the light faction gave the elves a chance to leave. This war became a mixed water war. The reason for starting the war is confused, but both factions are at the same time tacit understanding of the rise of war. From this we can see that this is actually a war sooner or later. However, due to the catalysis of some people, it is only early. It's almost there. The communication between dragon and evil spirit is still a silent transmission. The two emperors, up to now, have never played. But the war continues to fight endlessly, soon. Charming voice, some excited, but also some expectations. Dragon Ching evil hook lips smile, handsome evil face, more a trace of madness. With you to witness this grand occasion, quite interesting. Ha, it's the same with each other. I seem to feel her, she is very close to me. The leap of Dragon's evil heart, with a certain feeling, is joyful. Not only that, but also the young master in his arms seemed to feel something. His eyes were bright and he didn't know if he was talking about it. The evil spirit smells speech, slightly lift Mao to the somewhere in mid-air to see one eye. Good half ring, just way. She is in the seal mouth of the demon clan, you and her, just separated by a seal border. When Dragon Qingxia thought of Cloud Dance, he felt a touch of tenderness in his heart, and the coldness on his face seemed to increase a sense of warmth. She will definitely come back to see him and her son. Even if she can't come back, He will certainly pick her up in person. But I really want to feel someone coming, like Yu Zigui. All of a sudden, the voice of enchantment rings out. Yu Zigui? The original tenderness, hear the words of the charm, face suddenly a stiff. How can it be? That day, he watched with his own eyes as he danced into the crack of the seal. How could he, however, when I really saw the figure of Yu Ziguina rode, the eyebrows of Dragon Qingxia shrank deeply. It's really him. How did he come back from the demons? He came back, the cloud dance Dragon Qing evil anxious line of sight, straight sweep Jade Sun to return the direction behind. However, until Yuzigi got close to the battlefield and stood on the territory of Guangming faction, there was still no cloud dancing. She didn't come back. Long Qingxia frowned deeply and looked gloomy. And she? All of a sudden, a gloomy voice from the air resounded through the whole battlefield and spread to the Guangming faction. As soon as Yu Zigui landed, he heard the sound of flying down before he spoke to stop the war. He knew that the sound was Dragon's evil. However, he did not know how to answer this question. Because this time he came back by himself, but he left Yunwu in the demon clan. Seeing that Yuzigi didn't answer, Long Qingxia's face was even darker. Because we can see the meaning from here. Yuzigi, come here for me. Yes, the sound of Dragon Qingxia once again sounded on the battlefield. However, compared with the just gloomy, this time more with some kind of fury. Yuzigi heard the sound, looked at the direction of the dark faction, sighed, and his voice spread, "Please pause first. I have something to say." Pause again? The elves had been stopped before. It was not only useless but more fierce. Now there's another one and a pause? Of course, at this time, when the battlefield is in a more chaotic situation, how can it be said that the pause is just a pause? What's more, the current dragon and evil spirits are not allowed to stop the war. No one can stop until the Son of Darkness is taken back. No one can stop until the Son of Light is taken back. At the same time, the two voices of tacit understanding spread throughout the battlefield. Under two voices, people on the battlefield can't stop. Yuzigi's face changed, and he couldn't believe it. He probably had guessed the purpose of the charm. However, he didn't expect that the evil spirit was so hateful that he wanted to destroy the fairyland. As soon as the figure jumped up, he went in the direction of magic. At the same time, it was also the place where the elder disciples of Yuguishan gathered. Lord! The Lord is back! Yuzi Gishin's disciples, in the arrival of Yuzi Greishan, immediately set off a burst of excitement. Even the old men. Lord, where have you been? Why are you here now? Lord! When the elder of Yuguishan asked his disciples, Yuzi didn't pay much attention to it, but went directly to the enchantment. The charm stands on a huge stone and looks down on him. There was not too much emotion on that cool and handsome face. You're back. This sentence is strange. But Yuzigi understood what that meant. Even if you hate it, you shouldn't make fun of the whole fairyland. Do you know the consequences of doing so? The complexity of Yuzigi's face was unprecedented. But when she hears the words, she smiles and says, "Are you kidding? What's the joke? I can't understand what master you said. Am I not the Ming Emperor of Guangpai? For the sake of the future of Guangming faction, I come to recover Guangming's son. Shouldn't this be the responsibility of the emperor?" It's perfect. But Yuzigi's face became more and more dignified. He looked up at him and said seriously, "Listen to my advice. Let this war stop. Don't be stubborn." Haha, what is master you talking about? I don't understand. Charming smile words, all around the people can hear very clearly. Similarly, the people around didn't understand what the Jade Master meant. If you are so stubborn, don't blame me for being rude. I don't know if Master Yu is going to be rude to the Emperor. Smile instead of anger. When Yuzi's eyes sank, his figure jumped up in the air and went away. Now it's Mei who listens to the order. In order to stop him, we have to take him down. However, Yuzigi seems to have forgotten that if he wants to win the charm before changing it, it's no problem. But since the last time, his inner alchemy has been taken away by the night. Without Naiden, he is the opponent of the charm. See, in the fight of a few moves, Jade's son return was defeated. This scene surprised some of Yugishin's disciples and elders. What's going on? How could their patriarch, Master Yu, don't try to be brave? If you don't have Naiden, don't show up here, otherwise it will affect you. But it's not good. Charming words, not big or small, but just right. The people in Yugishin and many people around them heard very clearly and were extremely surprised. Naiden's gone? The master of Yugishin is gone? Does this mean that Yuzigi will not be able to be the leader of Guangming faction in the future? The elder of Yugishin leaped forward and looked at the evil spirit coldly. Now is not the time for internal strife. The opponent of the Ming Emperor should be the Dark Emperor. That means he shouldn't fight with Yuzigi. But the charm smell speech, but gaga of smile, laughter is very big, also very strange. When the laughter converged, the cold black eyes sank down and swept straight to them. In this sentence, you should ask your master, his inner elixir, but he gave it to the demons. If not, would the seal of that town fluctuate some time ago? What? Some time ago, the fluctuation of seal was due to the Jade Lord? And give Naiden to the demons? How can, however, with Yuzigi's strength, if he didn't voluntarily take out the inner elixir, who could take out his inner elixir by force? Is it true what Emperor Ming said? At that moment, many eyes fell on Yuzigi, and he seemed to want to hear his denial or answer. Absolutely impossible. Our patriarch will not be with that demon clan. Emperor Ming, don't stir up the morale of the army here. That is, it's absolutely impossible for our patriarch to give Naiden to any demon. It's absolutely impossible. Yugishin people, one by one, quickly denied, full of complete trust in their minds of the patriarch. However, the enchantment looked at Yuzigi with a smile. Master Yu, tell your disciples about it yourself. Am I wrong? Did you give your inner Dan to the demon called Night? The seal will be cracked. Is it because of you, Naiden? At this moment, more eyes are gathered. More to Yuzi. Yuzigi wanted to deny it, because at this time, once he admitted it, everything would be irreparable. However, even if he wanted to deny rationally, he could not violate his bottom line. Although, he did it for Cloud Dance. However, Nathan, he handed it in himself, and it was also because of his Nathan that the seal was almost forced to open. He could not deny that. Master Yu, do you dare not admit it? The charm continues to say with a smile. I did take out Naiden by myself, and I caused some disturbance because of Naiden, but I didn't give it to anyone. Yuzigi's voice was heard by everyone present. Although the meaning of his words was very clear, it still showed that Naiden was really taken out by him. Just admit it. You have your reasons. I won't say much about it. But if you don't have Naiden, you will lose the ability to protect yourself. Please quit this war. Charm said, also make a please posture. It was insulting for Yuzi to come back. However, he seems to be in a passive state at this time. He came back to stop the war. Yuzigi not only retreated, but jumped up in the air, standing in the air, shouting in the direction of the battlefield. Don't start any more. The balance between the dark and the light is almost out of balance, and the seal of the demons is about to be broken. Do you really want to see the demons released? The shouting spread and spread to every corner. Gradually, it seems that the battlefield is different. The people of the elves came to stop the war. Taking advantage of this opportunity, they naturally got out. Seeing this, the evil spirit and dragon's face were not very good. Damn, at the last moment, it's really unpleasant to kill such Qing Yaojin. Let's do it together. The seal is almost there. With the strength of our cooperation, we should be able to open it. The charm of the silent to the dragon Qingxie delivered a sound. On the other side of the dragon, naturally have this idea, all to this moment, absolutely can't let anyone destroy. Good. As soon as the discussion was over, he saw the tall black figure on the top of the beast, leaping up abruptly. On the other side, the white figure rose in the air. At the moment before the elves left, the two emperors on both sides were flying in the air and heading for each other. What kind of effect will the two emperors have when they fight each other? Nobody knows. Because no one has seen it so far. Uzgui's face suddenly changed when he saw the situation. When the elves on the other side saw it, their faces changed. Stop them. Stop them from fighting. I don't know who called first, but there was a wave in an instant. However, the speed of the two emperors was so fast that it was too late even if someone wanted to stop them. At the moment when the two lights mingled in mid-air, an invisible afterwave of energy suddenly took the position where the two emperors were fighting as the central point and attacked directly, boom. The earth is moving and the mountains are shaking. At that moment, faintly visible on the ground began to light up a trace of seal stripe luster. Big, wide with the shock of the earthquake, it continued to spread all around, which direction of the fairy forest the people on the battlefield finally stopped fighting. Looking at the seal stripes under his feet in shock, is this the seal of the demons? Will the seal of the demons be opened? Damn. What's the matter? What to do? If the seal of the demons is broken, does it mean that the demons will invade? Son of a bitch, what the hell is going on? After seeing this situation, the two factions and two ethnic groups, which were still fighting, immediately raised waves of shocked doubts. It seems that many of them do not know that this battlefield is the edge of the seal of the demon clan. However, people in Fairyland naturally know something about the demons. Therefore, this one at this time will be so scared. Once the demons invade, is there peace in the Fairyland? The war elves of the elves are pale when they feel the movement of their home. No, the seal is about to be broken. Unexpectedly, they sacrificed more than 100 people and awakened many war elves, but they still didn't stop the catastrophe. Is this doomed or not? The aftereffect of the fight between the two emperors in the air is still going on, but at this moment, no one can get close at this time. Everyone was shocked and frightened by the information that the seal of the demon clan was about to be broken. For a moment, there was no other action. Only Uzgui is crazy and wants to rush into the hands of the two emperors to stop, but in exchange, just don't rush to the end. Suzerain, it's useless. The power of the two emperors mingles with each other. It's too strong. No one can stop it. See Jade's son return that again want to stop of behavior. Big Elder finally can't see past of hastily stop. Jade's son return but still open, have leap to go. Poof! After being hit again, a mouthful of blood suddenly spurted out, and his face was pale and terrible. Several elders of Yugushin rushed forward. It can't be like this. To stop it, we must stop the invasion of the demons. Jade's son returned pale complexion of want to get up again, want to continue to stop, but finally be suppressed by several elders down. Patriarch, if you go on like this, you will die. The seal of the demon clan has been broken again. Now you can't stop it. You have to go back to the Jade Mountain to see if you can invite the beast to show up. Yes, Lord, both the light faction and the dark faction have a divine beast guarding them. As long as we can ask the divine beast to show up before the invasion of the demon clan, maybe we can stop this catastrophe. Yes, I'll go to find the magic company in the Dark Cloud Palace right now. Master, go back to the Jade Mountain with the elder quickly. The 4 elders of Yugushin said quickly. At this time, only what he said is the best arrangement. Now, the only thing they can do is to see if they can invite the beast to show up. Uzgui's speech also immediately remembered the statue of the beast. Yes, now the seal has become like this, the only thing that can stop is the beast. Go back. Uzgui didn't care about his own injury. He jumped up in the air and went to Yugushin quickly. The 4 elders, on the other hand, went in the direction of the Dark faction. Magic Company, the Lord of Dark Cloud Palace. Because at this time to see the demon seal is about to be broken, also more or less guess some situation. Damn dragon. I was cheated again. Magic Evan's face absolutely can use black iron to describe. When the 4 elders of Yugushin came to explain the situation to him, he nodded without hesitation and ran back to the Dark Cloud Palace with a group of disciples. As for the orcs and mermaids, because the demons are about to break, they immediately withdraw. Once the seal of the demons is broken and the demons invade, they must be fully prepared for war. Now the battle between the two factions in the case of the invasion of the demons has become low-end. The elves do not retreat or advance. Just like that, flying to one side, looking at the stripes of the seal of the demons below, looking at the two emperors in the blending of power in midair. Now it seems that everything is clear. I'm afraid that this war was caused by these two emperors. It's hard to understand why the two emperors, who clearly represent the two factions, joined hands to launch this war. Is it to break the seal of the demons? There's no reason. However, the reason for this is unexpected. Everything is for love. And the biggest mistake of Fairyland is to get rid of their love without authorization. Of course, for others, there is no understanding. However, the consequences of the war caused by the two emperors made them sinners through the ages. Unfortunately, neither emperor cared. Therefore, the fight between the two emperors in midair was unreserved, and without hesitation the aftereffects of power are still going on. The seal stripes of the demons are getting clearer and clearer, and the shaking of the earth is becoming more and more persistent at this time. All parts of the Fairyland were frightened by this movement. The upper bound, the human realm, is subject to certain fluctuations at the same time because of this movement. The seal of the demon clan has affected the turbulence of the three realms. When Nangong Yi and others came, they saw the battlefield full of corpses, the light of the seal stripes of the demon clan, and the two emperors who had fused their strength in midair. Even if they didn't know what was going on, they felt something was wrong. It seems that the strange and dark atmosphere in the air is very strong. The seal of the demon clan is being opened. Shangguan felt the change in the air, and his brow couldn't help wrinkling. Nangong Yi's eyes were on the dragon Qingxia in the air, with a dignified look. Why did he do that? This question, obviously, has not been answered. However, the other side of the red ling has opened his mouth. No matter how he does it, I just want to ask, my master where? Since the sudden termination of the contract, several Hongling have been uneasy. Now I finally see the dragon. Hongling can't help it. The red figure flies away. Hongling, don't be impulsive. Be careful. Mengbai cried. But Hongling's figure has already rushed to the dragon's evil spirit. Didn't get shot out? The power of the two emperors was not limited to it? This, let some haven't had time to leave Fairyland people see, are extremely shocked. How can it be? But that's what happened. Moreover, as my own Hongling completely does not understand the situation. As soon as he arrived at the dragon's side, he asked, "Where is my master?" Long Qingxia knew when they came to Nangong Yi, but he didn't plan to stop. As for seeing that Hongling was not limited by their power, it also surprised the two emperors. However, Long Qingxia soon understood. Hongling is fed by the blood of Yunwu, which flows with the blood of Yunwu, and Yunwu is naturally omnipotent. It's not surprising that the power of darkness and light is unrestricted. Within the demons, Long Qingxia only answered 3 words. But it's enough to make people understand. Their master is in the demons. No wonder their contract with her will be terminated. Can the hell survive? What can I do? I want to save my master too. Hongling said with great determination. Raised by cloud dance since childhood, it only obeys its own master, without any concept of right and wrong. Protect yourself. She's coming back soon. Long Qingxia suddenly laughs, and the power of darkness in his body is stronger and stronger. However, with the power he used, his breath became more and more dark and soft, and a certain change was also in it. There are also some changes in the charm side. But these changes, for 2 people, seem to care about the general. Nangong Yi and others see this, but their faces are slightly changed. They have heard the heresy of the dragon just now. Even if it's just a cloud dance, they won't stop it. It's just for a woman's sake, but it's too ridiculous to ignore the common people in the world. But most of the time, the common people in the world can't compare with the friendship in their hearts. They are human beings, not gods. If they can't do everything, they just want to take good care of the people around them. Long Qingxia, there's something wrong with your breath. If you don't worry about them, give the children to them first. Your breath will make the children unbearable. The charm suddenly spoke. Dragon Qing Evil slightly bowed his head, When he saw that the young master's face was really not right, his worry suddenly rose. Damn it, he forgot. Fortunately, they are here, Honglin, protect my son. As soon as the voice fell, Long Qingxia sent his son into Hongling's arms. Hongling wanted to say something else, but when she saw the baby in her arms, she knew what she needed to do. That's its owner's child. The child who was said not to be born was born. We must protect him. When the red figure returned again, there was a baby in his arms. When Nangong Yi and others saw the baby, they immediately understood everything. It seems that there is no need to say. The tacit understanding between each other has not allowed too many words can understand. On the other side, the fire of Juyo Mansion almost attracted most of the demons. With the passage of time, the death of Juyo gradually spread. As soon as Juyo dies, it means that the balance of the demons has been broken, and the demons will start to invade the human world. When Leader Yi and the demon company arrived, the demons had surrounded the whole mountain. The version of Cloud Dance killing Juyo has been simulated into countless. However, all of them are full of curiosity and exploration about the woman who killed the demon guard. Who the hell is she? It has enough strength to kill Juyo. Why have you never heard of it? Girl, I heard that you are the cousin of Lord Juyo. I don't know what you are doing. When the headmaster Yi landed, his eyes were locked on Yunwu. Others may not be able to see through, but he saw that she was not a demon. Her strength was too strong and mysterious. That feeling is very similar to Juyo, but it is different and powerful. Therefore, I guess that she may be the cousin of Jiuyu that Elder Yi told him last time. Just did not expect. This woman looks so beautiful. That kind of beauty beyond the world, but there is a kind of God color. However, from her body, but did not feel the breath of God. Magic even follow after landing. When you see the clouds, face obviously slightly changed. It's you. She killed Juyo? How can it be? Last month, she just needed Juyo to rescue human beings. How could she kill Juyo? But when magic even eyes fell on her for a long time, the pupil unconsciously shrunk. Like Juyo? It seems that he also sensed something from Yunwu. However, compared with the calmness of Leader Yi, his face changed a lot, and he stared at her closely. You killed Juyo. Are you the next guard messenger who will take over Juyo? If that's the case, I'm afraid it will be more difficult in the future. It's a good time for us to hear from the other side of the seal. If we are stopped at this time, we will be very angry. But, if that's the case, does he have a way to stop or kill her? No way. Even the strength of 9 you can't surpass, how can he kill 9 you her opponent? So, this heart is angry, all kinds of complex. When he heard the question, many people around him began to talk about it. Because, only that reason is the most appropriate. Kill Juyo and take over the next guard. Otherwise, I don't know why. But they never thought that Cloud Dance's answer would be so powerful. No, I killed him just to break the seal. A very simple reason, a sentence is enough to explain. But the content is very strong. Some people didn't react for a long time, especially the magic company. Yes, the leader can't digest it. She wants to break the seal? Why isn't she human? Does she not know what will happen to the 3 realms after the seal is broken? The exploration in the eyes of Headmaster Yi has been falling on Yunwu. When he saw that she was not joking seriously, he suddenly became dignified. Slowly stepped forward. Girl, do you know what kind of consequences will be caused to your people once what you said is implemented? As soon as he said that, Magic's voice rang out without waiting for Yunwu to answer. You're joking, leader. What's the consequence? Don't forget that we demons are the race that lived before they were human beings. They sealed us in this ghost place. They are the nest of doves. That is, why can't we demons live in the 3 realms? We are just living a free life. Why should we be charged with heinous crimes? That is, for thousands of years, I haven't seen what the old people said about the sun. All these things are given by the Protoss. Why should we stay in this ghost place? Yes, I also want to see what color flowers and plants are. Me too. All around the noise suddenly set off, but their words are inexplicable, some sad. Leader Yi frowned. He knew better than others about this situation. Otherwise, his Yifeng mountain would not be the one to suppress the demons. Girl, listen to my advice. No matter what reason you have, this seal can't be broken. Among them it's not just the demons and the human world. Cloud Dance smell speech but indifferent smile. Well, of course she knows. Otherwise, she would not be so determined to break the seal. If you say that breaking the seal of the demon clan will release the Protoss under the demon clan, it doesn't seem to concern me, does it? Cloud Dance says very relaxed, but let the face of the headmaster instantly changed. She knows? How can she? Even if she is in Joyo's family, she can't know this. Even if it is Joyo, it is impossible to know. How did she? Unfortunately, he didn't know. The reason why Yunwu knew it was because she went to see the future. And in that future, even if she did not break the seal would not last long, and the devouring Protoss would still climb out of the earth soon after. Once the devouring Protoss is born, the role of her children and men becomes obvious. It turns out that their birth, meeting and birth everything is arranged by the Protoss. The feeling of fate being manipulated is fucked. She must not repeat the same mistake. Girl, can you take a step? Leader E suddenly comes forward and wants to discuss with Yunwu. But Yunwu flicks his hand and controls the fire element to erect a wall of fire not far in front of him, which means to keep him away. You don't have to hide anything. Why should the demons pay for the mistakes made by the Protoss? Why should we let our race suffer thousands of years of sin for the sake of a Protoss? I'm right, Lord Devil. The word devil suddenly changed the headmaster's face. The original gentle indifferent, like what to freeze in general, become extremely rigid. However, after hearing this again, the demons were stunned. Lord Demon? Is that the legendary demon god of their demon clan? How can it be? Since the demon clan was sealed, I heard that the demon also disappeared and never appeared again. How could this demon god become the leader of Yifeng Mountain? Isn't that too self-effacing? However, the sight around is still unconsciously stuck on the leader's body, and the palpitation in his heart can be seen on every demon's face. The devil? They're gods. Leader, no, it should be said that it's the Lord Demon. His face is recovering gradually. However, that handsome face is no longer a disguised elegant, but a strong breath from the bones. In full view of the public, his gray posture also changed. He was a little tall, and his facial features were more beautiful. However, a red and black totem appeared between his eyebrows, which opened around his eyebrows. It's not ugly, but it adds a bit of mystery to him. This is the real appearance of the demon god. He looked at the Cloud Dance. His expression was no longer gentle, but with a deep momentum. If you can know my identity and the existence of the devouring Protoss, what else do you know? Why do you want to break the seal? The devil god can become the god of the devil family. Naturally, it can't only rely on brute force. It must have certain wisdom. Otherwise, at the beginning, he would not have the ability to sign an agreement with the whole Protoss with one person's strength. The Protoss could not personally fight against the demons. Hearing what he said, Yunwu knew that he was asking her for a reason. If her reason doesn't work, he will definitely stop her from breaking the seal. What if I say, to change destiny? Do you believe it? You are a demon god. You should be very clear about the significance of our sorcery. However, I don't want to conform to the destiny. Speaking of the last sentence, Yunwu is very serious. Is that the only reason? Obviously, that's not enough. Cloud Dance smell speech, hook lips a smile, however, that smile but with a kind of ironic meaning. In fact, the Lord Demon should also feel it. Even if I don't break the seal now, it will only take a few days for the devouring Protoss to break the seal. In that case, it's better to take this opportunity. That word, let demon god's facial expression change slightly finally. Yeah, if he didn't feel something, he wouldn't be out of the mountain. But what he didn't expect was that she was the first one who was specially arranged by the Protoss to deal with the biting Protoss. In fact, although he has been sleeping for thousands of years, It doesn't mean he doesn't know anything about the outside world. He knows everything he should know. For example, in order to suppress the demons, the Protoss sent the elves to suppress them. For example, the significance of the existence of witches. For example, the true origin of that dragon's evil spirit. Another example is the chess piece specially designed by the Protoss. This girl was born in another world and has a strong sense of self-reliance. She is a very good seedling. It's enough for her to combine with him to give birth to a child and fight against the devouring Protoss by 2 generations. It's a pity that the Protoss has made a mistake. That is, how can she be willing to become a pawn of the Protoss if she has such an alternative self-improvement soul body? On the contrary, what the Protoss did chilled her heart. I don't know if the Protoss will make a mark on their always superior honor. Think of this, the devil can't help but smile. However, he still reminded her, "Are you sure you want to do that? Do you know that if you do that, the devouring Protoss will not only climb out of the earth, but also offend the whole Protoss?" It's not necessary for him to remind her what the Protoss represents. How could Yunwu not know what he meant? But so what? Isn't the Protoss ready to sacrifice her, her children, and her men? If so, why is she afraid of the Protoss? Screw offending, she not only offends, if she can, she really doesn't mind killing his so-called Protoss. If I insist, will you stop me? Cloud Dance looks at him directly, her meaning is already very obvious. This seal, no matter what, she will break it. Seeing this, the demon god just looked at her for a moment, then shook his head. I am the demon god, the demon god. If you can free us from the misery, I should thank you. Why should I stop you? Well, it's beautiful, and all the people present, the demons who were excited, couldn't help cheering loudly. Magic even, at this time some digestion feeling, face some strange. In fact, he is not to blame. Because, not long ago, he was still aggressive to the devil, and even planned to fight with him. This did not expect, all of a sudden, said that this person is their demon lord. It's a normal person. It's the same expression. However, hearing the words of the Lord Demon, even the demon was excited. Because the demon lord's words are tantamount to acquiescence. The seal of the demon family can be broken. So, the demons can finally see the light again soon. I don't know who said it first. How about we break the seal together? As soon as that sentence fell, it immediately set off a turbulent upsurge. Come on, go back and call all the people and call as many people as possible. We are going to leave this ghost place. Yes, how many people? Originally just around to see the excitement of the demon people, immediately can be extremely excited to call for help. In the dark sky, bursts of thunder kept, but the seal was not broken. It seems that we are still short of strength. Now that the demon god of the demon clan has spoken, where is the whole demon clan divided into 2 groups? Let's work together to break the seal. For such a situation, Yunwu couldn't help laughing with satisfaction. At least she was right. The demon god can be trusted. Because in Yunwuka, he is the god who really understands the wisdom of God. One is willing to let his whole clan be sealed in this ghost place for the sake of his clan and the whole Protoss, but later for the sake of the 3 realms. From this, we can see that he is far more noble than those so-called Protoss. Your child still needs some strength. Just as the mass demons gathered their hands, the demon god, like ordinary people, said with a smile when he saw the little fat girl. Cloud Dance smell speech, lowered head to see the daughter in oneself bosom. I know, but I don't have time for her to grow up. If I wait for her to grow up, I'm afraid the Protoss's plot will be achieved. After hearing this, the demon god thought for a while and then asked, "Where do you know this?" Yunwu was silent for a while before answering him, "Heavenly book." The book of heaven? The evil spirit picks eyebrow to see to her, "Do you mean 9U in the hand of that day book?" Yes, Yunwu nods. However, the devil laughs inexplicably. It seems that he knows something, but he doesn't break it. But chatting like said, "Did not expect, you this wench also quite has the ability, is not guards the boundary emissary's successor also to be able to see the book of heaven. He and I are of the same race." This sentence has already explained a lot of meanings. Indeed, it's very sad that you witch people live according to the destiny all their lives. For example, your mother. Demon God suddenly said such a sentence, as for intentionally or unintentionally, I don't know. Can Cloud dance but listen to go in, the facial expression suddenly a changed, star Mao flashed a put on streamer of looking at that evil spirit. Do you know where my mother is now? Her mother didn't die, which was known in the human world. However, she couldn't find any trace. Well, I know a little. Can you tell me? Cloud Dance looked at the demon god, and his tone obviously softened. Although she has never seen the mother, she knows how a mother feels about her children. She wants to find her mother. I don't know exactly where she is, but she is the only one who can control you. I don't think the Protoss will let you find her so easily. What? Hearing the devil's words, Yunwoo's face suddenly sank. Protoss again. That's right. They are the chess pieces in the hands of the Protoss. It's not surprising that her mother disappeared and fell into the hands of the Protoss. However, it also shows that the Beast Gate must be related to the Protoss Dam. Is it that in order to let her grow up, and to achieve the secret of the Protoss just let the people of beasts do harm to the world? Think of in order to destroy the Beast Gate, not only let the three-world almost corpse all over the wild spirit painted charcoal, but also let Murong grandmother, Shiding and Bai Lao sacrifice. Cloud Dance can't help the anger in the heart. Protoss, goddamn pros. The fist clenched tightly, and a murderous intention was released, which brought a strong natural pressure. It made many people retreat, and their eyes were stained with fear. That woman is so powerful. However, this kind of impetuous breath was soon restrained by Yunwoo. Look up at the devil. If you can say it at this time, can you help me? If the devil is willing to help, maybe it will have a better chance of success. But the demon god shook his head and said with a helpless smile, I can't intervene, otherwise, what will come will be the hands of the gods. Believe me, it's a hard way to go, but if it's you, there may be a chance for a miracle. The devil's words are so deep that people can't guess. However, Yunwoo also understood his meaning. He can't help, otherwise, his agreement with the Protoss will be void. At that time, I'm afraid that not only she, but also their demons will be restless. Also, why should she let the whole family accompany her crazy? But if he didn't stop her from breaking the seal, it was clear that he also hoped that the miracle would happen. In that case, she was not reluctant. Seeing that the gathering of demons took a little time, Yunwoo asked another question. What will you do when the seal is broken? Look on. The devil answered very simply. Because all he can do is watch. Can I ask you a favor? Yunwoo looks at him expectantly. However, the demon god slightly raised his eyebrows and said with a smile, You should know what I just said. I don't want you to help me deal with the Protoss, but just do me a little favor. It won't interfere with your agreement with the Protoss. What's the matter? Save my mother, even if I can't, at least help me protect her. Give me a little time, I can take her home. If the Protoss wanted to threaten her with her mother, she solved the problem ahead of time. And the only one who can protect her mother is this demon. So you trust me? The demon god asked with a smile. Cloud Dance also hook lip a smile, looking at him. I believe. 2 words, but like a stone in 2 people's hearts, there is a sense of a hammering. Half a ring. The demon god finally laughed, the very frank one. Well, for the sake of your letter, I helped you. However, I can only protect, not rob. I understand. Thank you first. Don't be in a hurry to thank you. It's not too late to thank you when you have a chance to meet someone. At this point, the demon god turned his head and looked around. More and more demon people gathered around, sighing and saying, In return, you should take care of my people as much as possible. Breaking the seal means that the next thing the demons need to face is not only the people of the 3 realms and 6 realms, but also the god. The Protoss can't let the demons break the seal like that. There must be action. I hope this Cloud Dance can protect the Protoss before they appear. However, the devil also knows that this and that disaster cannot be avoided. Sooner or later, it will come to this point. Someone broke this rule ahead of time. It's better to go with the trend. Perhaps, that can receive unexpected surprise. I will try my best. Yunwoo nods. Take care of this. Take care. The conversation between them stopped after this sentence. The devil's figure soon disappeared in place, as if into the darkness. Cloud danced quietly watching, light smile. This war, perhaps, has really come to the end. Mom, I can help you deal with the bad guys. Don't worry. At this moment, the little fat girl suddenly opened her mouth. Originally, she sensed that silk uneasiness and absolutely from Cloud Dance's body. In fact, she can really be very powerful and can help. Cloud Dance but fondly rubbed her small head. Don't worry, when you grow up, you can help your mother. Now, you should protect yourself, if you can, also protect your brother, you know. As long as the seal is broken, she can see her man and son. She knew that Long Qingxie would not let her down. He must have found his son and is trying to pick her up. Think of dragon poor evil, the bottom of my heart that absolutely become warm up, even for the sake of that trace of warmth, she also must fight. What's more, it's still a battle that can't be lost. That, my lord, people are almost here. When do we start to break the seal? Just as Cloud Dance was meditating, suddenly came the voice of Magic Company. This time, he looked at Yunwoo with respectful fear, but also a kind of excitement. Just now, he heard the conversation between her and Lord Demon. Although, don't understand this woman exactly what ability, but can let demon god adult so open mouth of person, certainly strength is not bad. Breaking the seal and returning to the world is just around the corner. Can make him not excited. I didn't expect that his goal of returning to the world would be realized by the human woman who broke into the demon clan. It seems that some things are really unexpected. With the question of Magic Company, all the demons around looked at Yunwoo with excitement. Break the seal! Break the seal! All the shouts spread all over the night sky. Cloud Dance stands in front of the fire, slender posture. At this time it seems so tall and dazzling, at least, in the eyes of the demons, it is so exciting. After the seal is broken, I only ask you one thing. You can't kill innocent people in vain. As long as you can do this, I will try my best to ensure that you can survive in the 3 realms in the future. Otherwise, don't blame me for not caring about my promise to you. This voice fell, the original sound of a chorus of excited shouts, suddenly silent down. After thousands of years of darkness, there is hatred in the hearts of the demons, but more desire. However, Yunwoo's words made them meditate, thinking, after entering the human world, can they really stop killing human beings and vent their anger? But the meditation was soon broken. Because they found that as long as they could leave this ghost place, let alone one condition, they would agree even if there were 10 or 8 conditions. As for killing human beings, although they have hatred in their hearts, they do not have to kill. After all, their desire to see the light again is better than killing people. Yes, I promise. I promise. I also promise. A response sound, soon a sentence of the ring. However, Yunwoo's vision fell on the demon Lian. Your answer, represents the whole demon clan. The master of the demon sect was killed by her. Now the leader of the demon sect should be him. Magic even smell words, how can you not know the meaning of her words? He will be in charge of the demon sect, and if he has the idea of killing people to vent his anger, it means that the whole demon sect will also be a great trouble for human beings. In fact, Malian's mood is complicated. After all, after so long with the demon lord, he was determined to break the seal and return to the human world. As for the question of killing people or not, it will depend on what their patriarch orders. All of a sudden, he became the leader, but he didn't know how to arrange it. However, at this time, although magic even complex, but it is not without eyesight. Even if they are valued by the Lord, how can he offend and disobey those who trade? In order to return to the human world, he can agree to the conditions. I can agree, but only if we are not attacked. It means that if humans attack them, they will also backhand. Cloud Dance has no objection to this. Well, as long as you meet my requirements, I will try my best to ensure that you can survive in the three realms. At that time, Yunwoo didn't say much. Instead, he turned around and looked at the burning mansion behind him. The seal is here. We just need to work together. Good. The chorus of Howrin answers resounded through the sky. Next, when the force of concerted efforts hit into the fire at the same time, the ground vibration was finally lifted like huge thunder. Cloud Dance at that moment also jumped up in the air, standing on the seal. A force emanating from her body, such as destroying the sky and the earth, directly attacked the fire. The power is the purity of light and the purity of darkness. Very strange fusion of the two, perhaps the first of all time and at the same time, fairyland. The pattern of the seal has developed to the dazzling light, and the power of the fusion of the two emperors in mid-air is making the final impact. But I didn't expect that the impact of both sides at the same time has just become a real opportunity to break the last layer. The seal was broken in a very harsh way. At that moment, the earth trembled and the mountains and rivers flowed back. The whole three realms are afraid of this sudden change. Protoss. When the seal was broken, there was a big or small stir and anger in a place within the Protoss. Chessman, do you want to rebel? All the gods are angry at the same time. The Dark Cloud Palace, Yugushin, two sacred animal statues of the sect, were activated at the same time. The broken stone, the beast light from the air. The beast wakes up. A fiery red beast with 4 different features flew out of Yugue Mountain. Another beast, which was like a dragon flying, a phoenix not a phoenix, also flew out of the Dark Cloud Palace. The direction of the two beasts at the same time was where the seal was broken. Roar. Ho! The roar of the beast instantly resounded into the fairyland. The figure of Dragon Qingxie and demons separated at the moment when the seal was broken. The consumption of power made the two emperors look bad. But when I heard the roar of the two beasts, the evil spirit looked at the dragon and said, "It's the beast guarding the two sects that wakes up. You should be careful not to be caught by them." The meaning of that sentence, before long Qingxie had time to ask clearly, the earth suddenly split on both sides. The black hole of the endless abyss seems to be diffused in the gap between the two sides. Then a figure came out of the crack. Cloud Dance. Long Qingxie's hoarse voice called out subconsciously, but he didn't care that his body was exhausted and weak for a short time, so he suddenly danced to the clouds. His woman finally came back. That kind of excitement, no one can understand. It's Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu is back. She's back. Master. Because of the earth shaking and transformation, Nangong Yi and others, who retreated to a safe distance, saw the figure coming out of the black hole. Also all excited shout out. That kind of friendship, others cannot understand. Even the young master in Nangong Yi's arms seems to feel his mother's coming back, waving his fat hand like a cry. Long Qingxie. When Yunwoo saw the man who was coming towards her, her eyes became hot, and the so-called brilliance on her seemed to disappear. Just because her man, holding a little fat girl, quickly toward the dragon. Little fat girl, big eyes straight, Lulu looking at the dragon, poor evil. For her father, she is strange. However, she still remembers that when she and her mother were almost killed by the villain, he appeared and saved them. She had heard her mother say that he was her father, called Daddy. I can see that he seems to care about his mother. But what about her brother? Mother said that she wanted to protect her brother. So, after looking at her father, little fat girl is the first to find her brother. Mom, I saw my brother. I went to find him. Little fat girl suddenly struggled to break away from Yunwoo's arms and wanted to protect her weak brother. But roar. Ho! 2 roars of fury came from 2 directions. Before long Qingxie meets with Yunwoo, and before Yunwoo releases Xia Pengniu to protect her brother, the 2 beasts came from the sky. Be careful. Be careful. Dragon Qingxie and Cloud Dance shout for each other, almost at the same time. 2 figures with the other side to avoid at the same time. Bang. A huge explosion, at that moment, in the position where they are about to meet, suddenly burst away. The aftereffects of the force explosion spread from all around. Long Qingxie and Yunwu evaded the explosion, but they didn't have time to avoid the aftershock. In order to protect the little fat girl after the cloud dance, she was directly hit to the ground. It's not easy for Long Qingxie. He was already weak because of exhaustion of strength. Under such impact, he fell to the ground and his throat was sweet. You are so bold that you dare to destroy the seal and release the demons that endanger the world. Before the figures of the two beasts arrived, the majestic voice came down from the air. Lingren's words put a rebellious hat on everyone present. Cloud dance and dragon pour evil, almost tacit understanding from the ground up that moment, toward each other close. However, the two beasts seemed to deliberately prevent them from approaching. A powerful attack, but also aimed at the middle of the two. But just then, come out. Haha, finally back. Damn, the light here is so dazzling, the sun is so warm. This is the world. It's really dazzling. Inside the cracked black hole on the ground, black figures came breathlessly and excitedly, like climbing countless floors. From the first few, to more and more dense. A harsh but exciting sound, accompanied by a dark breath, comes from the cracks of the black hole. Hundreds, thousands the demon clan, after being sealed for thousands of years, has seen the light again. However, there is no such thing as killing. Yes, after the demons came out of the black hole, they made some strange marks on their faces. But none of them was fierce, just like the bumpkins from ancient times. After coming out, the first reaction is to feel the warm sunshine, dazzling light, green vegetation, colorful flowers and plants. Even the yellow soil felt so strange. The demons are still coming out. This scene finally let the two beasts from the air to see the fierce breath of the air. Be presumptuous. The beast is guarding here. If you don't give it to me, go back quickly. As the powerful sound fell, two beasts appeared in the sky. The oppressive force of the beast is invisible. At that moment, people under the sky felt the oppression of the strong. I didn't expect that it was just a beast with such strong strength. However, for the demons it can't scare them away. At least, in front of them, cloud dance can make them feel fear. These two beasts are just two dogs of the Protoss. They finally see the light again. How can they let these two be scared back? You too, if you have the ability to come down and fight, you'll be so noisy in midair. That is, I was sealed in the dark place by your Protoss for so long, and I just didn't vent my anger. We promised adults not to kill innocent human beings, but we didn't say that we couldn't kill two things that are neither insect nor bird. It's just, come down, I promise not to kill you. The rough and arrogant voice of the demons spread in an instant. Cloud dance heard, suddenly some laughing and crying. Are these demons too complacent? This just came out, so the tone of rampant tone to pick things, I really don't know if they are too bold, or they really itch. But she didn't stop them. Although they felt a little bit dark, their provocation to the two beasts, on the contrary, gave her space and time. The two beasts in mid-air, as the beasts sent by the Protoss to suppress here, are extremely arrogant. I didn't expect that as soon as I woke up, I heard the demons dare to challenge their dignity. Isn't that provocative? How can you bear it? Roar. Unlike the beast, it suddenly fell into the air and went straight to the cracked black hole. In addition to stopping the seal hole, we also need to show the eloquent demons that just now, but we can't challenge them. As for the phoenix-like beast, it was still in the air. Looking down at the cloud dance and dragon, the power is waiting for a shot. Their awakening, in addition to preventing the demons, is to prevent the two pieces from intersecting and to seize the light and the dark. As for the reason, they don't know. However, the order of the Protoss is not to disobey the divine power. Dragons stop it? See that four don't like to stop the moment of the demon people. Cloud dance hurriedly toward the dragon pour evil cry. This beast is obviously trying to stop them from meeting. The reason is unknown, but she knows it. The Protoss is afraid that these two pieces of them will be rebellious after meeting. Only when they are separated can they be in control. However, How can Cloud Dance let that happen? After hearing the words of Cloud Dance, Long Qingxie immediately understood it. Nodding across the air, the tall figure suddenly jumped up in the air and went straight to the non-dragon and phoenix beast in the air. Haw! The roar of anger, accompanied by endless majesty, is rising. The invisible force directly attacked the dragon. Yunwu takes advantage of this opportunity, but at the same time, she also rises in the air. At the moment when the dragon can't resist the evil, she shoots from the other side. After the awakening, the power of the witch saint has two kinds of special power, which set off a strange phagocytosis. The god beast originally disdains, but when sensing that strength, the beast eye suddenly changes. The animal body quickly dodged towards the other half, staggering the attack power of Yunwu. Cloud Dance also grasped this opportunity and went straight to the dragon. At that moment, the non-dragon and phoenix beast seemed to understand her behavior and wanted to stop it, but found that the Cloud Dance speed was too fast. "Girl, don't." But the voice of the beast's exclamation hasn't come down yet. The hands of Yunwu and Long Qingxie have been tightly held together. And at that moment, a very strange breath suddenly fell from the air and shrouded them in an instant. Around the world aura, also in that second, like a whirlpool, in an instant towards the two people's body into. However, it was at that moment that the crack in the black hole of the demons on the ground seemed to have lost too much aura, leading to a collapse. However, share is not to close, but to expand. It seems that the things under the deepest ground are awakened by this collapse. The ground is shaking again. There was a kind of panic and anger in the two beasts. Stop them at this time. The figures of Long Qingxie and Yunwu are surrounded by the spiritual power. It seems that they need enough aura to awaken something. At this time, they should not be disturbed. So, when the two beasts were about to block this, the demon, who had been watching, sighed and moved. This catastrophe can't be avoided. Why do you have to put in more hands? At the moment of meeting the spirit, he said this to the two beasts. But that sentence made the two beasts look bad. It's very brave of you to wait for a mortal in the fairyland to speculate on the secret of heaven. It's not like you're angry. Don't talk to him. It's important to stop that piece. Non-dragon and phoenix beast quickly said. Alas, Charm suddenly heaves a sigh. The world says that I don't know how to cherish blessings and I'm too crazy. In fact, I want to say that it's your God who is superior to you. He doesn't care about blessings. It's clear that everyone is happy, but he just wants to kill. As soon as the words fall, the charming figure is already in the air. At that moment, his eyes closed, and a very strange force emanated from his body, the ultimate pure light. Also at that moment, the aura of heaven and earth around, like a more crazy surging up, towards the two people of Yunwu. He has no power to stop the two beasts. In this case, let's try our best to leave and help them. Also as the original Cloud Dance to do those things compensation. Damn it, you're trying to kill yourself. Don't commit suicide. The two beasts never thought that the appearance of the charm was not to stop them, but to help the two pieces. What's the matter with all the people in this world? Clearly know that the world is about to face a catastrophe, but not only do not stop, but also to protect and help the sacrifice. However, at that moment, a strong light burst out from the charm. The pure power of light suddenly enveloped the sky. May, what are you doing? In the heart, suddenly came the Long Qing evil angry voice. This is the voice of mutual exchange. Under the light, the charm of the handsome face raised a touch of radiance, but the smile is more ugly than crying. Cherish the time between you. The only thing I can do is this. Don't feel sorry. This is my relief. Yes, this may be his relief. After living alone for 300 years, I finally got to this day. It's enough. It's enough. For 300 years, every day and night has been a torment to him. Now, at last, I can see her. He very happy. Say sorry to Yunwu for me. The last sentence is getting weaker, magic. The cry of dragon's evil spirit never got any answer. The enchanted body shrouded by the light, under the dissipation of the extreme light, began to break with the wind. Finally, it turned into a dust and disappeared on the earth. This scene happened too fast. There was no chance for people to react at all. The charming figure disappeared, and the strong light in mid-air was fading away. However, at the moment when the light dissipated, the dark and bright light on Yunwoo and Longqingxi lit up. Two rays of light entangled together, gradually rising. Like a pillar of light, it soars to the sky. At that moment, the two beasts finally reacted and their faces changed greatly. No! But the two words just called out, the light column has rushed into the vast sky. Silence! At that moment, all the sounds around seemed to stop. A space of terrible silence enveloped the whole earth. But it only lasted a few seconds. Random, a mighty afterwave from the air, boom. Thunder? No, it's a kind of shaking sound like the sky is about to fall down, and the sound above the sky is rippling like waves. Everyone looked up at the sky under the light column. Boom! Just after another loud noise, a dazzling color light seemed to leak out from a crack in the sky. Extremely beautiful. However, it also has a very strange burning feeling. It hurts. Oh. People on the earth, at that moment, seemed to be in a kind of suffering. There was a howl of misery. However, the crack in the sky is bigger and bigger, and the colorful light is more and more dazzling. Just when people thought they were going to die under the colorful light, the light that pierced the sky in mid-air suddenly burst out. The color light is dispersed by the force in the burst. The dragon in the pillar of light was dancing with the clouds. At that moment, it seemed that it was exhausted and fell from the sky. Little 5. Evil. Little dance. Master. Seeing this, Nangong-yi and others jump up in the air to catch them. When they saw the crack in the sky, they seemed to be angered. How can you break the way of heaven? You are really not afraid of death. Okay, go back with me and stand trial. Without giving Nangong-yi and others a chance, the two beasts first stop Yunwoo and Longqingxi. And it seems that they are also afraid that the physical strength of the two pieces will recover, and the two beasts will not care about the others after they receive them. Immediately turned into two aurora, extremely fast sky. In the twinkling of an eye disappeared in the crack of the sky. Cloud dance. Nangong-yi and other people's faces change and shout, but there is nothing they can do. As for those demons who have just seen the sun, they are even more confused. What's the situation? Aren't those two beasts meant to stop them? How could this blink of an eye not only ignore them, but also leave like this? The demons still continue to come out of the black hole, but they are the first to come out and see the demons in that scene. But I still don't understand the situation. However, they know that the adult who helped them break the seal has been arrested. Grandma's bear, they haven't touched a human yet, so the Protoss is too arrogant. Did they catch their adults as soon as they appeared? Magic Company is the leader of the demons. When he saw the moment Yunwoo was captured, he was actually a little excited because in that way he could not be unscrupulous. However, the little conscience in his heart made him uncomfortable. Protoss, too arrogant. Little ones, you should be more agile. When you're ready, let's go to the divine world first. The crack in the sky is the way to enter the divine world. What does it mean to be forced to open the door of heaven? Others may not understand it for a while, but for the demons, they know what it means. Now that the door of heaven is open, they will go to the divine world first. By the way, let's see what the Protoss want to do with them, my lord. Yes, Malian suddenly felt that he wanted to try the taste of Protoss more than kill human beings. And the gods within the Protoss. His face became very ugly and angry because the way of heaven was forced to open. These two pieces not only don't obey the order to stop the demons and destroy the devouring Protoss, but also join hands to break the way of heaven. This is a rebellion. Just as the demons want to climb the way of heaven and go to the divine world, Tianjiang is very angry. It rained all over the sky and began to fall from the sky. It's like trying to stop it with flood. But that action, created another kind of disaster in the world, in the request but not, it is to promote the world to the Protoss big resentment rise. God depends on people to worship and revere. Once there is resentment, this is the beginning of the evil in the divine world. However, at this time, it is still later. What happened at this time was a picture of the demon people planning to enter the heaven and the divine world, and the sky was raining heavily. Damn it, these Protoss want to use the flood to prevent us from entering the divine world. Yes, the Protoss is stupid enough. We demons won't be afraid of this, but the Terrans are different. Isn't this a sin of our own? That is, even if we can stop our steps for a while, the price is too high. The discussion of the demons spread quickly. However, the two people in the fairyland and the elves fell into another confrontation. Yes, it's confrontation. Dealing with the opposition of the demons. Unfortunately, in the face of the hostile behavior of the fairyland people, the demon people are just like a nobody. They just refer to the gossiping on the rainy day. In fact, they are not unable to sense the hostility of the people in the fairyland. However, they promised Yunwu that they would not kill themselves. So, they won't do it first, but once they do it first, they won't be polite. It's not for no reason that the demons will be afraid of being sealed by the Protoss. Lord, what should we do now? Do you want to fight or not? Elder Yugueshan, I really don't know what's going on now. I can't help asking my own patriarch. What happened during this period is really beyond their understanding. The war between the two factions, the seal of the demons broken, the invasion of the demons, the awakening of the beast, but in the end, it was not the picture they imagined. What way of heaven was opened, but the original guard of the two groups of beasts left on the spot, and the legend of the ferocious demon people. But it's just like a common man, like a bumpkin. There's no so-called ferocity. On the contrary, they are more like normal people than they are not calm. What's going on? But no one will answer them. Yuzigi is also very complicated at this time. Looking at this scene, he also fell into an inexplicable meditation. Are the demons, as the Protoss said, harmful to the world? At this point, they are just like ordinary people. On the other side, even the Dark Cloud Palace side of the court also fell into a tangle at the same time. This fight or not? They don't know the strength of the demons. They just know that the demons in the rumor are ferocious and represent evil. Can see now that a gossip home, to them indifferent of the demons, where there is a little bit of the so-called ferocious For a moment, they don't know whether to do it or not. As for the elves, but they also fell into a different mood. It was not that they were struggling with whether to fight, but that they had just heard the news from the elders of the clan. This one they can't do it. Yes, the elders of their clan have been closed to the four old men for some time. Unexpectedly, but in this checkpoint, the elders went out. Moreover, there was news that they could not do it. Just let them watch. Once the demons enter the way of heaven, they will follow them back to the Protoss. As for the reason, the elders did not explain. Therefore, for a moment, the fairyland fell into such a triangle situation. However, their entanglement did not affect Nangongi. They have been taken up. What shall we do? With our strength, we can't go up to heaven and enter the divine world. Do we just watch and do nothing? No, I feel that they are in a lot of trouble. Besides, without any backup, we can't do nothing. Yes, we can't do nothing. Nangonji, can't you predict something? You said, what can we do to help them? Yes, just think about what we can do. Nangong-yi was asked by them one by one, and he began to meditate. In fact, with their strength, the fairyland can be regarded as the limit, not to mention the divine world. What has happened since the war against the Beast Gate is more and more beyond their ability. Even if they are anxious and want to help, they seem to have no way to start. This kind of feeling is really bad. They are the companions of life and death, and they are indispensable companions in life. It really frustrates them to let them know that they are in danger, but they can't help it. But even so, they can't stand by. If the strength is limited, we should try our best to do it. Since the breakthrough of Nangong Yi's strength, his third eye has been closed. It's not that he can't use it, but there's no time to use it. Maybe now is the time. Let me see what the way of heaven is first. With that, Nangong-yi looks up at the crack in the sky. At that moment, a crack suddenly opened on his smooth forehead, and an eye suddenly opened from his forehead. Under his third eye, there will be no escape for any person or thing. But now, with the third eye to see the way of heaven, I don't know if it can be useful. After half a ring. When Shangguan and others saw that he had been holding his head up, they were anxious not to buy it. How's it going? Did you see anything? Don't rush him, he needs some time, he said. However, just under her words, Nangong-yi suddenly has a movement. Inexplicable, a dull hum, the body a shock. Nangong-yi suddenly lowered his head. What's the matter? Praying that night was a little worried, he quickly reached out to help him. Shangguan and others also found something wrong, worried and asked, "What's the matter? Are you all right?" Nangong-yi raised his hand and shook it. After a long time, he raised his head. However, the blood stain on his forehead is not negligible. People's faces changed greatly. Nangongji, your eyes. Nangong-yi's eyes are red, but he can still see them, but his third eye is, it's okay. There are still two eyes to see. Light but a word, but let people understand what meaning. His third eye, abandoned. What the hell happened? How could your eyes suddenly look like this? Yes, what happened? All of a sudden, people were obviously worried. Nangong-yi wiped the bloodstain on his forehead. He saw that there was only one scar left in the original eye-opening position. It was very deep and shocking. To tell you the truth, everyone took a breath when they saw his wound. How could that be? What happened just now? It's clear that there's no movement. How can it suddenly, it's nothing. It's just that when I want to see the way of heaven, it seems that I was found, and the Protoss took back my third eye. In fact, he didn't say it. Just now, he seemed to have heard a saying that the Protoss said that they would punish their family. Beloved of the Protoss. That is the divination skill of their Nangong family, including his third eye. Damn it, don't the Protoss declare that we are their puppets? If you don't like it, you're going to kill us all. That's a damn bad feeling. That's right. Anyway, I'm alone now. I have the ability to let them come to me. My life is saved by Cloud Dance. I'm not afraid of death. The Shangguan was angry. Mengbai and others are also dignified. Despite their words, reality has to be considered. Pros, can they really resist? The answer, in fact, is in everyone's mind. Let's go back to the upper bound first, I think. Nangong-yi suddenly said to his companion. But... Without waiting for others to speak, Nangong-yi continued to explain. Long Qingxie gave the child to us for protection. The first thing we should do is to protect the child first. Yes, they have a baby in their arms. Shangguan held the young master and looked down at him subconsciously. What he wanted to refute could only be kept silent. In addition, with our current strength, we can't help it all here. It's better to return to our home court. I believe that the reason why Protoss become Protoss must be supported by the other three realms, and our home court is just the human realm and the upper realm. Therefore, the only bargaining chip we can fight against Protoss is the human realm and the upper realm. As long as they can grasp the two realms when necessary, with the power of the two realms, they will certainly play some role. And that function is the best support for Cloud Dance and Dragon's Evil. If they stay in this fairyland, they have no strength to do anything here. Even if they can do something, they will not shake the Protoss. Moreover, the demons have been born, which is enough to involve the Protoss. We will go back to our home court, and then try to unite the three worlds. Nangong-yi's last words completely made everyone submit. Yes, they can't do anything with their strength alone. But then they go back to the upper world and the human world. We'll be right back. Yes. After everyone agreed, Nangong-yi didn't delay a minute and a half. A few people on the rapid direction of departure. When Yuzigi thought of the bright sun in their arms, their figure had disappeared for a long time. Divine world. Sure enough, the divine world is totally different from the three realms. Picturesque scenery, For seasons like spring, full of flowers, green hills and streams, lush vegetation, but the house, all is one kind floats above the cloud, each characteristic house. For example, it's made of rattan or crystal even. There are some more European-style fortresses. After being brought into the divine world by Si Xiang Xiang and Fei Feng Long, Yun Wu and Long pour out evil spirits. In fact, they wake up early. However, because the consumed physical strength is still recovering, so they are very calm lying on the back of the beast, quietly looking at the surrounding environment. Yes, both of them were still holding hands when they fell, so they were both lying on their backs. Of course, including the little fat girl in the arms of Cloud Dance. Are you afraid? Cloud Dance slightly slants ahead, looking at the man nearby to ask such a sentence. At this time, Long Qingxia's handsome and evil face, because of the complete darkness, appears to have some yin qi, but it still does not damage his evil beauty. Hearing the sound, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, his head, deep black eyes died, gently looking at the two women lying beside him. He took her hand and held it tightly for a few minutes. A rather hoarse voice said softly, "What I fear most is that I don't have you." Cloud Dance smell speech, grin, because of awakening and beautiful face more and more dazzling. Is it? Me too. I'm afraid of nothing more than you. Mom, what about me? Hear them two greasy crooked dialogue of little fat girl, didn't hear mother say oneself, cannot quite satisfied with the mouth. This little light bulb is on at the right time. Cloud Dance and Dragon pour evil smell speech, all tacit understanding of see to her. Long Qingxia stretched out his hand and rubbed her little head. You can talk, but I haven't heard you call me yet. The little fat girl was a little kid. She looked at him with her big eyes and asked carefully, "Are you afraid of me?" This sentence let Cloud Dance a burst of laughter and tears. What do you think of this girl? Long Qingxia grinned, obviously very happy about his daughter's problems. Of course, you are my daughter. Of course, my father is afraid that something will happen to his daughter. Well, this answer always feels different from numb. But fat chicks don't understand. Hesitated for a while, just reluctantly agreed to nod. All right, Daddy. As a young and glutinous father, Long Qingxia feels that his heart is about to melt. The softness in his eyes, almost even he found. Cloud Dance but all see in the eyes, heart warm, this kind of feeling good. However, it seems that this is not a warm time for a family. Because the little fat girl together into the whole divine world, I'm afraid the Protoss will take her first. Is there any way to send my daughter to a safe place first? Dragon Qing Evil looked to Cloud Dance of ask away. Cloud Dance pondered for a while, then nodded. There is a place, but I don't know if it will affect her. Where? Hearing that, I don't know if it will have an impact, the dragon tilts evil and frowns solemnly. The space of the past. The space of the future is too much, so we can only return to the space of the past. I hope they can solve the problem here as soon as possible, then they can get it back as soon as possible. In that case, there should be no problem, right? However, Long Qingxia was surprised to hear that. The space of the past? At this time, it's not the time to explain in detail, so Yunwu came close to him and gave a brief explanation. Okay, just send her over. After hearing this, Long Qingxia made a decision immediately. Actually, do they have any other choice now? If you really take the children with you, I'm afraid the Protoss will have more chips to blackmail them. How can Yunwu not understand his mind? So, after he nodded, Yunwu secretly took out the Book of Heaven in his own space. It's the Book of Heaven on the other side of Juyo. The book that sent her to the future. Of course, there is a story about what happened. Now it's not convenient to explain. However, at this time, the Book of Heaven did not appear as a little girl, but directly opened the space of the past with the hand of Cloud Dance. Wait a minute. Just when Cloud Dance plans to send little fat girl indirectly, Long Qingxia suddenly thinks of something to interrupt. What's the matter? We have to hurry up. The Book of Heaven belongs to the divine world. I'm afraid it will be discovered by the Protoss. Cloud Dance quickly said, Long Qingxie nodded and looked at his daughter. Daughter, you should remember your future name, Long Qing'ai, your younger brother's name, Long Qingwu, which means your mother is my lifelong love. Finish saying, also didn't wait for the little fat girl to be able to remember, personally put her into that open heavenly book. The light is blooming. When Yunwu heard his words, his heart jumped, and the softness in his eyes almost turned into water. She didn't give her child a name just to give it to his father. I didn't expect him to be so numb. But she likes it. However, the tenderness did not last long. Because, at that moment, a light arrow flying in the air suddenly came towards them. Be careful! Damn it, the two sounds of Dragon Qingxie and Cloud Dance are not pretending to be in a coma. The two of them reach out to resist the light arrow. In the process of sending to the past space, we must not be disturbed. Otherwise, if there is any mistake, it is really fatal. But soon their faces changed. Because the light arrow actually passed through their spiritual power of resistance, yes, it passed without any obstacles and fell on the light of the heavenly book. At that moment, the light in the book of heaven began to dissipate, as if something had shaken. Nyonyo. Daughter. Dragon Qing evil with Cloud Dance cry, accompanied by panic, want to quickly pull back his daughter. But it's still a little late. Little fat girl's figure dissipated in the light and was sent to an unknown place. However, after the light disappeared, the book of heaven fell from the sky and its color became dim. It seems that the book of heaven has also been damaged to some extent. Cloud Dance, even if the inner ups and downs aroused great, but also in the first time to put away the book of heaven. Because only the book of heaven can bring her daughter back. At this time, not Dragon and Phoenix suddenly stopped, for unlike also flying close. The breath of artifact? Damn it, they have artifact. There was a chagrin in the voice of the two beasts. They seemed to blame themselves for finding out now. However, it is not the two beasts that make Yunwu and Long Qingxie coldly alert. It's the man standing in a cloud, like a god. He was dressed in strong white clothes, holding a long anger, and there was a pale totem between his eyebrows. He looked down on them as if he had no emotion. It looks like they are a mole ant. If before, Cloud Dance and Dragon may have some emotions. However, in the face of this Protoss, they seem to have a feeling of infinite reverence and worship. This is the so-called Protoss? God? Standing on the cloud, holding the long angry sky trace, quietly overlooking the two humans brought up by the beast. He is the guardian god of the Protoss, named Tianchen. He didn't remember how old he was. Anyway, after countless years, he only remembered that he was guarding the Protoss, the guardian of the Protoss gate in the mouth of the gods. So, after they entered the Pros, he followed them all the way. He saw what they said and did. Originally, he disdained to attack two human beings. After all, the nobility of the God of Heaven, how can we do it for the two lower human beings? Unexpectedly, these two human beings carry Protoss artifacts. So, just as they were driving the artifact, he did it. But when he saw them, he realized that these two were the humans who made the old Protoss angry in recent days. It is said that the destruction of the barrier of the Way of Heaven and the Way of Heaven are due to these two human beings. Interesting. After thousands of years of lonely life, I finally have a little fun. So, after he shot the first arrow, he didn't shoot. He just stood on the cloud and looked at them carefully. He wanted to see what was special about these two human beings. A man and a woman are young, but they even have children. It depends on the situation, like the relationship between husband and wife in human beings. Just these two human beings, how can those old men be so angry? I don't understand. However, when the two beasts with Cloud Dance and Dragon's evil spirits saw the god above the cloud, they bowed their heads and exchanged a respectful voice. General Tunjin. Well, who are these two? The sky trace that still light and have no emotion of voice asked away. The voice came out as empty as 9 days away. Yunwu and Long Qingxie also looked up at the man, quietly and carefully. His light arrow, let them not even resist ability. Such a god is terrible. If all the gods are such forces, can they really resist? After hearing this, Si Xiangxiang and Fei Longfeng all answered in one voice. It's the human that the emperor wants. Emperor? Hearing the answer, Tianchen was not surprised. In other words, he was used to expressionless and calm. It seems that for a long time nothing can arouse his emotion. So, after hearing the words, he spoke faintly, "These two people are the two who break through the way of heaven?" Yes, get the answer. The trace also no longer asked what. In the air brushed his hand, indicating that they can go. However, he is still standing on the clouds, with the light wind, not far away from the follow. Dragon Qingxie and Cloud Dance look at each other. No mouth seems to know each other's mind. At this time, it's definitely not the time to make a move. However, they did not intend to escape halfway. This time, they should see the so-called Protoss, right? They want to see what these high Protoss are like. And the answer soon came. Half an hour. All the way, continuous beauty, finally half an hour later, gradually replaced by a sea. There is no wave of the ocean, the vast cannot see to the end, and on that vast sea, floating a very spacious palace. Resplendent floating hanging, rainbow around in the sky, nameless flowers and trees, dotted with the palace. It makes the whole palace look more comfortable. However, the invisible majesty has not been reduced at all. As soon as you enter the sea area, you will feel an inexplicable force of oppression. A kind of oppression that seems to make them feel that they have to give in, which makes them dislike. But no matter how they repel it, it seems that they can't get rid of it. In that momentum, they were taken to the palace. The trace of heaven follows. General Tiant. Along the way, as long as you meet the Protoss, you will respectfully call to the mark that day. In this way, the dragon and Cloud Dance will examine the Protoss again. It seems that his identity is very important in this Protoss. It's a pity that he didn't say a word all the way, except that he opened his mouth at the beginning. On the contrary, the two beasts were more talkative. After entering the palace, the two beasts turned into human figures. They were both male and they were tall and handsome. For Cloud Dance and Dragon, they didn't bind them. That is to say, it's a little cold. Come and no ink. Finally, in that half-urging, the five came to a main hall in the palace. The spacious hall is luxurious and elegant. Smooth marble floor, light surrounded by a layer of white fog, there is a sense of fairyland. However, this is the divine world. It's not surprising to have this kind of affectation. In the empty hall, after 5 people came in, it was so quiet. Until a body appears. Emperor, the two beasts immediately knelt down on one knee and called respectfully. And the god of heaven also made a standard ceremony, but did not speak. The visitor, as if accustomed to this, gently brushed his hand and said, "Get up." The two beasts just got up. But then he retreated to the bottom of both sides. And the trace of heaven retreated to one side. The dragon's evil spirit and Cloud Dance are very abrupt here. At this time, Yunwu and Longqingxi can see what people look like. They have fair skin, handsome facial features, and are quite tall and strong. Wearing that golden robe, the hair ornament is also luxurious, which is a gem. It looks like it's in its early 30s. Is this the emperor they call him? However, in the divine world, what is the status of Emperor Zun? Even General Tianchen would salute. It seems that his rank is much higher than that of general. You are the witch saint and dark emperor in the world? Low and dignified voice, as if very ordinary general asked. However, an invisible force came to them with the voice. Dragon Qingxie suddenly pulls Yunwu into his back and quickly arouses a dark force to resist. When he saw the power of exploration under the resistance, he was quietly relieved. Fortunately, not all the Protoss have the same strength as the mark of that day. They don't even have the ability to resist. You are so brave that you dare to resist even the power of our emperor? The man, known as Emperor Zun, suddenly had a cold voice, and a strange wave of power suddenly set off on the main hall. The power of the dragon changed the face of the dragon and Cloud. It seems that the Protoss can't be underestimated. Is it too humiliating for the Emperor of the Protoss to take action against the two of us? The sound of dragons faint evil sounds. He didn't show the fear of submission, but still kept the attitude he just had. Cloud Dance is protected by him behind, there is no difference. How can she wipe his face when the man protects himself so much? At this time, she will see what the Emperor of the Protoss wants to do. In the future, she does not have the so-called Emperor. So, she didn't know about it. I knew your eloquence was good at the beginning, but I didn't expect that you were still so eloquent after being born for several generations. Emperor Zun is sitting on the main position of the main hall. He suddenly looks at the dragon and says, "That makes people confused." He means, was he above the Protoss in the last life? Long Qingxia frowned and looked at him. Do you mean that I was originally a Protoss? Emperor Zun didn't seem to be quite satisfied with his understanding. He raised his hand nobly with a smile. He brushed the two beasts and motioned them to withdraw. Seeing this, the two beasts naturally retreated. As for Tianxin, he still keeps his standing posture and has no intention of quitting. When Emperor Zun saw this, he was just like him. You were originally a Protoss, but you thought you had made some mistakes in those years. Therefore, you were punished by the former emperor and entered into reincarnation. You can return to the Protoss one day when you have completed your service. Former emperor? From then on, the emperor is the ruler of the Protoss? Long Qingxia hasn't made a response yet. Cloud Dance picks eyebrows instead, walks out slightly from Long Qingxia's side, and looks up at the man above the hall. Seems to notice the line of sight of Cloud Dance, Emperor Zun's dignified and handsome face, slightly raised up. Long time no see, little one. This sentence, however, is like the sound of nails cutting through the glass, which is extremely frightening and makes people get goosebumps in an instant. What do you mean? Long time no see? She met him? No, isn't that a bullshit past life? In this regard, Yunwu's eyebrows wrinkled up. Obviously, he didn't like this very much. Long Qingxia also frowned and looked at the emperor. Little guy is my exclusive name. He doesn't like the way other men call his women. Of course, this is not the time to discuss this issue. However, when the emperor heard the speech, he laughed as if he had heard something interesting. But what's so funny about that? I don't know. Both Yunwu and Long Qingxi feel speechless. Well, I won't tease you anymore. I'll explain the identities of the two of you clearly, but before that, I want to ask you a question. This time, the emperor did not call himself the emperor. It seems that they are trying to get closer to each other. What's the problem? Do you know what will happen when you open the seal of the demon clan? This problem may be unknown to Long Qingxia, but Cloud Dance is very clear. Therefore, Yunwu did not stand behind the dragon, but walked out and even approached the emperor. Lift eyes, clear phoenix eyes on the emperor. Although she wanted to bend her knees to the emperor, she still stood upright. Does your problem have anything to do with us? Of course it does. If you don't know, I can deal with it lightly. But if you know, it's another matter. When Emperor Zun said this, he chuckled. But a few people on the scene can feel that his smile is just a fake smile. An emperor's expression is enough to show his attitude. Cloud Dance see this, also hook lips a smile, also smile not to reach the fundus of the eye. Is it? That's a pity. We don't know the consequences, however, we will not regret, even know the consequences, we'll still choose to break the seal. You can represent both of you? Emperor Zun's eyes narrowed slightly. Of course, he said good. It seems that even if you two reincarnate for many generations, you still can't change your rebellious and stubborn. It seems that this time I will be wrong again. The emperor suddenly sighed. I don't know why, I always feel that after his words are finished, he seems to be several years old in an instant. What happens to the Protoss? It's strange. Emperor, you haven't said their identities yet. At this time, did not expect to open the mouth is that day mark. The theater-goer is more anxious than the protagonist. Of course, he was born with the same facial paralysis and ruthlessness, and there was no emotion in his handsome face. When Emperor Zun heard the words, it was just like noticing the existence of the mark that day. A touch of helpless dyed his eyes, inexplicably shaking his head, He then got up from the position, turned away. You're leaving? Why did he go away like this before chatting? Don't deal with them? Emperor, you haven't said what to do with us yet. Cloud Dance opened her mouth and called. Look, since ancient times, I'm afraid she is the only one who asks people to deal with herself. Emperor Zun stopped, but did not look back. I can't bear to deal with you, but someone will come. Then he left. To tell you the truth, his behavior is a little puzzling. Isn't he Emperor Zun? Isn't it the leader of this Protoss? But when Yunwu saw some old men, accompanied by a man in a golden dragon robe, he came in. Yunwu realized that the leader of the Protoss was someone else. When I hear Tianjin call, Tianzuan, Yunwu and Longqing realized that the ruler of the Protoss was the god. Tianzuan's appearance is very similar to that of the emperor just now. He is handsome and upright, but a little more solemn than the emperor. It gives people a serious sense of dignity. As for those old men, they are kind-hearted, as if they were all good people. However, I don't know why, when Yunwu saw those old men, he felt a repulsion of listening to them. She didn't know why, but it was an instinctive reaction. It's okay for Longqingxia. The evil and evil eyes, after looking at several people that day, stepped forward and came to Yunwu. Reach out, quietly pull her in his side. Are you the witch saint and the dark emperor? Majestic voice, no words and laughter. Several old men stood on both sides of Tianzuan, watching them with a serious look. Longqingxia said, yes, we are. I don't know what's the matter with heaven asking people to bring us to the Protoss? Tianzuan narrowed his eyes and looked at the dragon for a long time. Then he said, you two are so bold. You dare to break through the seal of the demon family, but you dare to break through the gate of heaven. Dragon Qingxia slightly brings Cloud Dance behind him and looks at the celestial being with a smile. I don't know what the celestial being is going to do with us. Well, what about you two? Do you think I really dare not deal with you if Emperor Zun intercedes for you? God's plea? No, Tianzuan just left. Of course, at this time, Yunwu and Longqingxi naturally won't pick them out, but wait for the words behind the god. You broke the seal of the demon clan, so I want you to seal it again in the shortest time. Seal the demons again? It's a joke. Don't talk about the evil of dragon. Even Cloud Dance can't help but want to sneer. It is said that the seal of the demons used the hand of the Protoss last time. Now they're going to seal it again? Tianzuan, don't you embarrass us? I know that with our strength, how can we seal the demons? What's more, are you sure that sealing the demons is still useful? The voice of Cloud Dance, very light, but very sharp. The seal of the devouring Protoss has been loosened with the seal of the demons. I believe that before long, the devouring Protoss will climb out of the earth. Now to seal the demons, is it really useful? Of course not. And he that words, don't be equal to let the demon clan resist the behavior of eating the Protoss first. To be honest, Yunwu despises such a Protoss. However, Hua Ziyao's words made Tianzuan and the old men look bad. Naturally, they heard something different. It seems that you are a little girl. You know that you will break the seal of the demon clan. How bold you are. That you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.